Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for this week's Smackdown. We are starting a little bit early because there's always stuff to talk about. I know there's lots of bored people out there, but as well as all of that, we obviously got a little bit of an opportunity because the Insiders wrapped up just a touch earlier than they normally would. There was just an interview with one of our community members, Jason Peace. It was a very, very good, very fun little interview. It was cool. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of nice just to hang out for a little bit and then have time to set the stream up and everything. So as a result of that not running for the full hour, it gives us an opportunity just to start. So yeah, really good. If you get a chance to listen to that interview, it's over on the Insiders podcast channel on YouTube. Hello to everyone that's in the chat. I can see all the people saying hello, so hello to all of you. Obviously, we are starting a little bit early. This is just going to give me an opportunity to tell you about the faction war that's on the way. I know a lot of you will have heard about this. There's a lot of excitement about this. My Twitter account has absolutely gone into meltdown. The amount of messages that I've had about this is absolutely incredible. The excitement is off the chart. So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant to see so many people excited by this. So let me just take a couple of minutes to bring you up to speed whilst people are finding their way over to the stream. So we are going to do a little faction war. So the only thing that you've got to do is just get into a faction. So all you've got to do is get into a group and just listen to the Insiders podcast on Monday, because they're going to tell you what the first challenge is. This is different to what we used to do before. This is not going to be that we're just going to put a poll up and it's going to be most votes wins. You're going to have to actually do something. Yes, we've been thinking of challenges. They're obviously fun, but we've been thinking of challenges, and I really like what we've got lined up. So on Monday, you're going to find out about it. You'll have to get into your factions. You're going to have to work together. That's what it's about. It's a faction war, right? So it's not we're just going to throw your name up and that's it. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to earn this championship. So the faction war begins on Monday. Insiders will tell you what you've got to do. You've then got next week. You've got till next Saturday the 9th, to get your submissions in. And you send them to the Insiders Wrestling Podcast on their Twitter account. You DM it over to them. So that's it. It's going to be really simple, straightforward, easy to understand. They'll go through everything they get sent. They'll pick their top 5. And then the week after, we'll vote as to who is actually going to win. So there we go. Next week, it's about doing the challenge. The second week, it's about finding who was the best. And then we just keep that ball rolling. So really, really looking forward to this. As I said, it's going to be different to how we've done it in the past. It's not a poll that just gets chucked up. It's got more to it this time. So yeah, really excited. And it's great to see you lot excited as well. So get into your factions, get your faction names. I'm sure, without even looking, I'm sure there's a lot of excitement in the chat. Jason Peace says, shout out. How did I do? You were awesome, dude. I was just praising your interview over there. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the fact that it was just quite kind of chilled. Didn't really get into anything really deep. It was just kind of general topics. It kind of felt nice for around about 35 minutes, which I think is a really nice interview time. A lot of the interview clips that you see on the internet are 10 minutes. They're quite short. So half an hour is, perfectly fine. Yeah, it was good. I just really enjoyed it. And as I said, it allows us just to kind of make sure everything's set up and have a bit of a chat here before we properly start in like 6 minutes time. Slayer Rollins says, love your videos. Shout out to you, buddy. Jim Gore says, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Shout out to you. Shout out to Jack McWilliams, Imtiaz as well. Internet traffic is heavy. Yeah, it will be at the moment. Will be. We've got so much to talk about, but I don't want to touch on it just yet. There's plenty to talk about. We've got the preview for tonight. We've got Corey Graves news. We've got some information about when crowds might be allowed back to watch wrestling. We've also got, obviously, the Wrestling Escape Pod coming up. That's going to be after we finish streaming. Of course, it is Friday night. There's another brand new Wrestling Escape Pod for you guys to enjoy. And this is a good one. I'm really excited about this. This is funniest wrestling moments. So it's about 55 minutes long. And it's all about funniest wrestling moments. I was having a good laugh just as I was editing this episode. So I really do like this one. So that is going to be straight after SmackDown. As soon as SmackDown finishes, we'll take about 15 minutes to kind of have a recap of what we thought, get your scores in, and then we'll go straight over to the Wrestling Escape Pod YouTube channel. Tommy should be joining us every single time I talk to Tommy. He just says how much he loves Friday nights and spending that time with you guys. So undoubtedly he will be over there because I know he genuinely enjoys it. Yeah, can't wait, man. Cannot wait. So that is tonight. William Hensey, shout out to you, buddy, says new escape pod. Can't wait. Gonna drop a thank you at the bottom for William Hensey. I feel like I'm putting a lot of thank yous down here for William Hensey. Appreciate the support as always, my friend. I saw that William was actually Mr. Hensey, Dr. H, whatever William goes, whatever his pseudonym is. I saw that he was in the chat like a good half an hour before, just chatting away to people. So really appreciate the support, man. Hope you are well. Yeah, coming up, man. Coming up after. As we said, in about 3 minutes, then we will get stuck into the notes that I've got. But just wanted to hang out with you guys a little bit, just talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. Just because we had that opportunity, you know. Cons says, Days, I changed my YouTube channel name just to be simple. Well, always good to be simple. That's my motto. What recent elite do you recommend getting, says Dash Shinobi. The Fiend. It's all about The Fiend. The Fiend Elite that's coming out. It's not out yet, but it'll be out soon. I think the original release date was July. So just honestly, save your money for that. If you've already got money put aside, then honestly, I would be looking at some of those Ultimate Editions. They were out, last year? The Finn Balor one, I think, might be the best figure I've ever seen. The Finn Balor Ultimate Edition, I think, is stunning. The Ultimate Warrior one, I thought, was awesome. Someone sent me a picture of the Honky Tonk Man figure, the Retro Fest. Have I still got it in the box? I have, you know. Look at this. I love the fact I can talk about things and they're right here. Hang on. Let me show you this. This figure. Absolutely stunning. I think this was out last year. Someone sent me an image of this in the Entertainer here in the UK for £8. That's cheaper than a basic. Like, I've no idea how they're doing this figure at that price. Honky Tonk Man with that jumpsuit, so much detail, and you get obviously that great accessory as well. Plus, Honky Tonk Man, absolute legend. And look at this packaging. Look at that packaging of an arcade cabinet. So you're getting a lot there for £8. Obviously, if you're in the US, I don't know where you can find this at that price, but apparently in the Entertainer, they've got these for crazy prices. That's what happens. It's so random. We find it hard to get those kinds of things. But what happens is that they don't sell in America. So America's still got a load left over. So they just come over to the UK and go, do you want to buy a load of these for like £4 each? And that's what happened. And then all of a sudden, you just get these amazing figures at stupid prices. It happened with the New Day. I've got it down there. I'm not going to move again. But the New Day, I am going to move. Hang on, here we go. This one, this New Day pack. It happened with this as well. This was in the Entertainer again. They had this for at £12, something like that, £14. It's 3 elite figures. You get Big E, you get Xavier, and you get Kofi in figure form with the trombone, with like the unicorn horns in a Bootio's box for like £12. That's about, I don't know, $15, $16 for this. So there's some mental stuff out there. So yes, shout out to you, William Hensey. Shout out to you. DH says, Days, buddy, how have you been? I am emotionally very strong. Thank you for asking. I've been away for a while. Haven't really watched wrestling in the last week or so, but I'm back and I'm ready for some wrestling. Yeah, should be good, man. I tell you, I'm really excited for tonight. I can see Malik saying the truth will be revealed. It is one of the things I've got down here about the hacker. So the hacker tonight could make an appearance. Let's start, shall we? Hello, everyone. We've already been going for about 10 minutes or so, but you've not missed anything. I waited for you if you have just joined us. Yeah, the hacker, I think, could make an appearance tonight because last week he issued a video and the video had coordinates in the profile that took you to truth or consequences. And then he issued another video at the start of this week and the coordinates took you to a place called Last Chance. So for me, what he's saying is, tell the truth or there's going to be consequences. That was last week. Earlier this week, he's saying, this is your last chance. And now, here we are at SmackDown. So I would not be surprised if the hacker doesn't reveal something tonight. I really think the hacker's going to make their presence felt. I'm not saying they're going to reveal who they are, but I think they really could let it be known that they're either going to reveal some truth or they do reveal some truth. So I think tonight's going to be a big night for the hacker. Haven't seen the hacker in a little while. I think tonight. So I'm feeling optimistic about that. As well as the hacker, we've got Daniel Bryan versus King Corbin. Daniel Bryan trying to get some revenge on King Corbin. Obviously, he was attacked last week by, we saw Cesaro and we saw Nakamura getting involved. Yeah, we're going to see Daniel Bryan against King Corbin. We got Mandy Rose versus Carmella. Money in the Bank qualifying match. This is for that final spot in the women's Money in the Bank. As well as that, we got Otis taking on Dolph Ziggler. I would say it's for the final position, but it isn't because Apollo is out. So there's going to be a gauntlet match on Raw. So whoever's going to replace Apollo, that's going to be a gauntlet match. We don't know who's in it, but they did say it's a last chance gauntlet match. That makes me think that it could be everyone that's lost. It could be that everyone that lost in the qualifying matches are put into this last chance gauntlet match. I'm hoping for a surprise. I'm hoping there's going to be Edge or Kevin Owens or someone like that. But I'm a little bit worried it's just going to be people that lost in the qualifiers. So we've got Otis versus Dolph. We got qualifying. We got Mandy versus Carmella. Qualifying. We've got Daniel Bryan taking on King Corbin. We've potentially got the hacker And then as well as that, we've got New Day versus Forgotten Sons. New Day versus Forgotten Sons tonight. So, yeah, there's quite a stacked all in 2 hours. It's obviously not a 3-hour show. It's a 2-hour show. So, quite a bit of stuff there. Blake Gaming says, 10 minutes early, I'm ready for some Smackdown. Chalmers says, random question, what wrestler did you impersonate as a kid? That's a great question. Warrior. I used to impersonate the Warrior all the time. You know, you'd just be like, and you'd be like pretending to shake the ropes and all that kind of stuff. So I used to impersonate the Warrior a lot. The Bushwhackers were always easy to impersonate, weren't they? With that, doing that for the Bushwhackers. So I used to do Bushwhackers. I probably did a few Hogan poses as well, but I was never really a Hogan fan, to be honest. I was always into whoever he was facing. So, like, definitely the Macho Man at WrestleMania 5. I loved the Macho Man. Definitely the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6. I think Sergeant Slaughter was a bit too evil for my liking. I couldn't really vibe with Sergeant Slaughter, so I was probably rooting for Hogan on that one. And to be fair, at WrestleMania 8, I didn't care. I was never a Sid fan either, so Sid versus Hogan just wasn't really bothered. And then 9 wasn't really bothered. Money Inc. versus... what were they called? The Megalomaniacs, was it? Where it was Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So, yeah, I wasn't really bothered by a tag match. They really built it up like this big tag match. It's like, who cares? Although, I will say the build for it was quite good, where Brutus the Barber Beefcake had to wear the mask because they smashed him in the face with the briefcase. But actually, it was a parasailing accident. But anyway, we're getting distracted. Let's go down. I can see Jody in the chat. Hello, my friend. Hello, my fiend-loving friend. You've come to the right place. Hope you're doing well. Do you think we'll see a Firefly Funhouse episode? Nothing has been advertised, which kind of sucks. I think we will see the hacker. What if he exposes something about Fiend and Braun? Well, what I'm gonna... Well, hello, first of all. How you doing? Let me drop a thank you at the bottom to Jody. Hope Jody is doing okay. I think I saw Jody saying that she wasn't 100% in the Jason interview. So, thoughts with you, my friend. I don't think the hacker is going to reveal anything about the Funhouse at this stage. I think there could be something. But to be honest, I wouldn't want it, because would you really want the hacker revealing some truth about the Funhouse? Like, a large part of the Funhouse and its mystery is what we enjoy. We enjoy theorizing about things, and we enjoy the mystery of and watching it and develop. You know, it's fun to sit here and say, oh, they're going to add more characters. Are we going to see the dark side of Huskus? What's going to happen when Bray finally gets his hands on Randy Orton? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much for us to still be excited about. Personally, I wouldn't want the hacker to get involved in that. I wouldn't want the hacker to be revealing some truth. I know it might sound cool, right? And I know it sounds juicy, but I can't see anything good coming out of it long term, to be honest. Because if the hacker does reveal something, then I kind of feel like it is going to take some mystery away. So I would rather he didn't. I also don't think he will, because I do think the story for Money in the Bank is going to be Bray versus Braun, and I don't think they're going to want the hacker to get involved in that. I think they're going to want to tell that story. I think they're going to want everyone focused on the history between Braun and Bray. Adding the hacker into it now, and the hacker revealing truth about the Funhouse right now, I think would be too distracting. And I think would actually take away from that championship match, because all of a sudden the conversation isn't about Braun and Bray. The conversation now is about Bray and the hacker, and the Hacker getting involved. So I feel like it gets messy on a lot of different fronts. So I'm going to say the Hacker doesn't reveal anything about the Funhouse. I'm going to say the Hacker is potentially going to reveal something maybe a little bit unexciting. I mean, if the Hacker revealed that Morrison was upset with The Miz, yeah, or Morrison was planning on turning on The Miz, like, would that be that exciting? I'm not sure, but I could see it being more something along those lines, more so than it being about the Funhouse. I think the New Day splitting would be an excellent story, but I feel like that's going to be the big story. If that is a story that they're going to tell, it's going to be the big final reveal. Splitting up the New Day would be one of the biggest things that they could do. That group will go down as one of the best tag teams in WWE history. No doubt about it. They've been around for a good chunk of time. I think it's about 5 years or so. So they've been around in all that time. They've had 8 title reigns now. So they've had loads of championship reigns. They've been, guest hosts of WrestleMania. They've been involved in some of the most fun segments. They've had they are the tag division in many ways. Sold loads of merch. Obviously the Pancakes and Kofi Mania was all a part of it as well. He was still in the New Day when that happened. So, no doubt about it. They're future Hall of Famers. If they do split them, it's going to be huge. That is not going to be something that gets dropped in tonight as a little side story. That's what this thing is surely building towards. And certainly if Xavier is one of the voices, if Xavier is a part of this and Xavier has got some insider info or whatever, then surely the end result is Xavier's leaving to join this new faction. And it's going to be the end of the New Day. That would be my gut feeling. That that's what this might be building towards ultimately. But I don't know. That's what's so great about these things is you can sit here and theorize about them. And I'm sure a lot of you are doing that right now. Like Charlie that says, Days, the Hacker could reveal Alexa Bliss talking about Nikki Cross. Absolutely right. I think it's going to be a few more of those kinds of things. Partnerships that have been together not that long. Like Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, I think they got together last year. Maybe 2018. They're probably one of those couples that have been together longer than you think. But I think it was last year. So, they could split them. They could split Miz and Morrison. I would imagine it would be something like that at this stage. And then when we do get back to crowds returning, then I think it will be something bigger. And I've said it for a long time. I'd love it to be the New Day. But, let's wait and see. In regards to crowds, let's just quickly talk about crowds. We can obviously come back to this conversation, but this is a very important conversation that we need to have anyway. Crowds could be back from next week. That is huge news. If I wasn't streaming this right now, I would definitely be doing a video talking about if I thought that's a good idea, how logistically it could work, and how I don't think it's going to work. But I think they're going to do it anyway, because there's a lot to talk about with this. So apparently the Florida governor called Ron, great name, Florida governor called Ron DeSantis, has come out with a 3-phase plan, a 3-step plan as to how he's going to reopen Florida. And step 1, right, is groups no larger than 10. People need to work from home where they can. Sports shows can go ahead with a crowd, but they must follow strict social distancing guidelines. And 25% capacity. So you're allowed a quarter of the crowd. So if you've got a building that holds 400 people, you're only allowed 100 max. And even then, they're going to have to be spaced out. I mean, I've got questions about this because how's everyone going to get there and queue up to get in, right? Okay, so say everyone arrives, but there's going to be like mingling in the car park and everything, you would imagine. Granted, the queue, you can space people out, but once they get in, like, go in the toilet, get in food and drinks and merch and finding your seat. I mean, you're going to have to surely talk to someone to find your seat, and I really struggle with, I mean, I know we're only talking a small building right now, but what about, like, Orlando Magic that have got an arena that holds thousands? Even if you're operating at 25%, logistically, how can everyone stay apart all the time, like the 6 foot that's needed? How can, like, thousands of people within a small building, achieve that? I don't know if that's even possible, to be honest. I don't know. He thinks it is. So, his seemingly that's his proposal. What this means, I think, like, in the Performance Center, don't get me wrong, Performance Center, you should be all right. Performance Center, holds a few hundred people, so you're probably going to have a crowd of about 50. I don't even know what that's going to be as an atmosphere, though. Yeah, like, the wrestlers going to come out, you're just going to hear, like, yeah! Woo! Go again, Sheamus! And what if you get one person that's really obnoxious, that's going to shout out really obnoxious things? They're going to be heard. They're going to be hurt. If there's a crowd of like 50 people, you got someone going, "You suck, your hair looks stupid," like this, you're going to hear them. So you're going to have to make sure that everyone's like, I'm singing from the same hymn sheet kind of a thing, So I don't know, man. This has got, like, I'm a little concerned about it. I want crowds back, but I want them back when the time is right. And I don't know enough about where Florida is with its curve and all that kind of stuff to know if the time's right. I would imagine, gut feeling, it's not. Because I think you guys are about the same as where we are here in the UK. And the message we're getting is we're just past the peak. Like, it's about here. Do you know what I mean? We haven't done this yet. We haven't done this. We're about here. And now we're letting... Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sold on it. I don't think it's a good idea, personally. But there's people out there that know way more than me that feel that it is the right time. So, but it'll be very interesting because don't expect it to be full and hundreds of people and stuff like that. It's going to be sparse. 25% capacity with social distancing guides in place, which means they're going to have to space them out. So you're going to be sat there and then, 2 empty chairs and then someone else and then 2. I mean, I don't know. Is that going to create an atmosphere? Like, you sitting there with literally no one around you. You're in your own isolation bubble. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's so strange. It's weird. I want to see it, in all fairness. I want to see it. Ryan W says, Days, anyone in America not from Florida are just waiting for this disaster to unfold down there. They haven't done anything down there. Okay. It's not a good time, says Shaquem. It's about time, says D. Well, look, this is what I'm going to say. My personal feeling is this is too soon because, as I said, if you're at the same place we are, we've been told that we've passed the peak. So to open it up now, you would think that there's still cases. There must be still cases out there. Like, we're not saying that it's gone. We're just saying that we've got past the worst of it. It's not got. It's still out there. But I understand a need for businesses to get back. I understand that the economy argument is very important because this is people's livelihoods. We're already seeing the effects. We're already seeing companies closing, people losing their jobs, wrestlers being released and then being used for storyline, things along those lines. So I do totally understand that there is a need. But if it undoes all of the work that we've just gone through, if everything we've just been through is a complete waste, it's going to be a lot of anger. There's going to be a lot of anger. So, yeah, look, I'm not trying to get political. I absolutely, that's not what anyone comes here for. And I never talk about politics, and I don't feel that this is politics. I just feel that on the simple question of should we have crowds back yet, The answer for me would be no. That's it. But it looks like next week. It really does look like next week. It seems like Florida are good to go, or, the plan is there. Days, nothing has changed in my state of Oklahoma, and everything that did close reopened today. My job has never changed or stopped, says 7-star. Interesting. Shout out to Monica King, who says, Days, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I live in the UK and work in construction, and I'm going back to work on Monday. There we go. That's Andrew Park. William Hensey says the UK has developed an antiviral that is promising and is already being synthesized. Ryan says, I hate COVID-19. We all do. We all do. Days, as you don't know about Florida's curve, I've sent you a DM showing the curve. Okay, cool. I will check that out. I am reluctant to get really stuck into the details here because of the fact that I don't want this to be political or anything like that. I mean, we have to talk about how we see things. And obviously, I'm very interested to look at that information and obviously see where Florida is with the curve and everything. But my gut feeling is that it's not that long ago, just the other week, people were being very, very critical of WWE even performing. Do you know what I mean? Even running these shows. Like, fast forward not that long, and all of a sudden, not only are we saying that, okay, that's absolutely fine for them to be doing the shows, but now that we can bring other people in, it does seem very, very fast to me. It does seem very, very fast. But, again, as you've heard, there's people saying that they're returning to work as well. Construction people going back next week and things along those lines. Hello to Tyson Moore Tube. Hope you are well. Missouri is as conservative of a state as exists, and we are staying closed until cases are non-existent. Jerry says, I think everything will be back to normal around June and July. Yeah, I mean, that was the original estimate that I was certainly, I don't want to say working towards, because I don't really work towards anything, but what I had in mind. Yeah, if anyone, I think we'd spoken about it, when will we have crowds back? I would have said July. I would have said, like, we've got to the point now where we're getting just past the curve, and another 8 weeks or so, just to make sure that it's definitely gone. Then I could see crowds coming back. But I think there is, to be honest, some impatience that's come in because of the damage that's being felt. Because of everyone obviously having to close and shut down and everything. And I do understand that. I definitely understand that, because it is people's livelihoods and everything. So it's not an easy thing, this. I am, make no mistake about it, I am definitely not sitting here saying categorically they should be doing this, they should be doing that, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, is the answer. I'm quite happy to say I don't know. There's experts out there that know way more than what we get to see, and I'm not going to be silly enough to say they should be doing this, they should be doing that. I'm just saying it feels a bit early for me. Jody says Indiana is allowing gatherings up to 25 people starting on May 4th. They're lifting the travel ban and allowing retail and restaurants to open at 50% capacity, except downtown Indianapolis. That will start on May 18th. Yeah, we are starting to see these opening up now. It seems like the Trump administration has been very vocal in getting, the states really thinking about starting to get moving again. And again, I'm treading carefully here because this isn't political, and I don't want this political, because we all come here to talk about wrestling, and that's what we're focusing on. So I'm not really too focused on what's happening outside of wrestling. I just, again, I have to go back to what I said before. It was only the other week that a lot of us were saying that and questioning, was it right the wrestlers were even there? And Vince came out and said on a conference call, and so did Triple H, that they'd sprayed the Performance Center in some kind of a coating that apparently, cleanses and keeps everywhere clean. So they'd coated the Performance Center and the trailers and production trucks and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that was something that they were talking about just the other week. And then you fast forward, and then it turns out next week there's going to be a crowd. And it's like, I think it's taken a lot of people. Certainly me. It took me by surprise today. As I said, if we weren't doing this stream, I'd definitely be doing a video on that. Because, it's surprising. I'm not going to lie, it is also a little exciting, because I know a lot of people have said that they don't enjoy the wrestling without a crowd. So the fact that we could be on the verge of getting a crowd back is exciting. But there's definitely a risk as well. So, yeah, there we go. Just wanted to let you know that there might be a crowd next week. So, let me go down to the latest chat. I live in the country, so I'm isolated 24/7. Days, what I sent you is scientific proof Vince gave to Donald Trump to prove it was safe to continue with WWE shows. Diz says, Days, hope you are well during this pandemic. I am good, thank you. Days, could Full Sail have crowds next week? That's, yes, everywhere. Operating at 25% capacity. So, there we go. That's the image that C sent us. It's an image there of Florida and a curve. And an arrow and the word curve. And he's absolutely right. That is very scientific. So that's exactly where we are on this curve. We're around about there. So very fun. Boom. Right, Days, do you think CM Punk will ever return to a wrestling ring? I do, yes. I think that there's too much money for him to turn down. I think there would be a lot of companies that would be interested in him. I think that his UFC career didn't work. I think that he is still a draw. People still chant for him. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't, to be honest. I know he said that he doesn't particularly enjoy it, but if he works a reduced schedule, like a Brock Lesnar schedule, if they make him an attraction, then I can't see why they wouldn't. I can't see why they wouldn't go that way. Days, the Figure Boys have got new content. Okay, cool. Get them to send me the link. Days, there have been rumors of a dream match between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Okay. Cool. I can't see that happening anytime soon. Brock, I don't think, wants to really be out and about at this time. So that could be one of the reasons as to why he lost the title. Days, if crowds come back with a maximum capacity, some of the fans might be sick. Yeah, it's going to be a while since we get to that. No one's saying that we're going to open up fully. They're talking about 25% capacity, which, as we said in the Performance Center, isn't going to be loads of people. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know what the attendance is at the Performance Center because it's not really built for having a crowd. So honestly, I couldn't tell you. My guess would be 500, something like that, in the Performance Center. Maybe not even that. I'm not sure. A couple of hundred. So 25% of that, you're not talking many people at all. But it's going to probably, you are looking at July time till we get back to maximum capacity. Have you seen Booker T's promotion Reality of Wrestling? Asks Dylan. No, I haven't. I know of it, but I've not seen it. Days, did you see Asuka's latest YouTube video? She eats noodles and plays Nintendo. I love Asuka. I'm a massive Asuka fan. You know that. I love her wrestling. I love her promos. I think she's really funny. For whatever reason, I don't get chance to watch her YouTube videos. I'm sure I would enjoy them, But whenever I do get any spare time, I've got so much stuff that I have to watch instead. Sometimes I actually like to watch non-wrestling things as a bit of a palate cleanser. I actually watched the latest Michael Moore documentary, which was all about... It was really interesting, actually. And again, I don't really want to get political, but it was all about renewable energy and how it might not be as great as it seems. It might, you know what I mean? Like the solar panels, to actually make them might do more harm than good. And wind turbines might only actually have a life of around 20, 30 years. So again, it's more harm to make them than the power that they generate. Solar panels might not actually generate that much power, certainly nowhere near the power that we need. And it was really interesting, just a really interesting, and it was just something different. I have to watch something other than wrestling just to, think about something else, get my mind off wrestling and just think about something else. I just find it helps, as I said, a palate cleanser. So, I just don't get a chance. I don't get a chance to watch all the wrestling and then something non-wrestling and then still be watching like Asuka and whatever, but sounds good. I wish her all the best. Days, have you seen the new Edge documentary? I highly recommend it. I've seen bits of it, of him where he got I would say I've seen a good 90% of it, where he actually starts coming back and they give him a ring. He asks for a ring and they actually give him a ring, and he trains with Beth at home, all in, like, you know, him coming back. So, but I still need to finish it. Yes, I do still need to finish it. Coastamaniac says, who's ready for Smackdown? Yeah, it's exciting. I am excited for this one. As we said, there's money in the bank qualifying matches. I really think we're going to see the Hacker. We got Daniel Bryan and King Corbin. So there's quite a bit on tonight's show. The other things that I just wanted to touch on before we get stuck into chats, I can see we've got just over 20 minutes to go. But Corey Graves has been training. There's actually footage of him. I think it was Cal W that sent me the footage. There's footage of him actually back in the ring. He was inspired by Edge's return. So he started to train to see if he can become a wrestler again and actually compete in rings. So I should imagine he's got a long way to go. But it's good to see him back in the ring and giving it a go, as long as it's all safe, you know. So, Corey Graves back in the ring. I was watching the new Hidden Gems as well, which I thought was very good. Matt Riddle competing in NXT UK, which was really cool. Shayna Baszler competing at a music festival at Download. NXT UK actually have a tent at this music festival. And she was competing against Isla Dawn. And then also an up-and-comer called A-Kid taking on Dragunov. That was a good little match as well. So, if you're into any of those, Matt Riddle or Shayna Baszler or Dragunov, or you want to see someone new like A-Kid, who I think is going to be good future prospect, then new Hidden Gems are up. And, talking of Coastamaniacs as well, I will be on Coastamaniacs channel tomorrow. So, tomorrow, I think it's 2 Eastern, 7 UK time, 7 at night in the evening. I will be live, apparently. Live on Coastamaniacs channel. So, you can jump over there. You can chat to us live. I don't know what to expect. I've not been told any topics in advance. I don't know what we're talking about. I just don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm literally, all I know is I've got to be sitting here tomorrow at that time. Coastamaniac's going to call, and then boom, we're off. Good to go. We're live streaming. We're rocking and rolling. And I don't know how it's going to go. So, yeah, if you want to watch a potential car crash, then get over to Coastamaniacs channel tomorrow, because, I don't know what to expect for that. Hello, Days. Hello, Elite 2 Sick. Hope you are well. M. Baxter says, our governor has not said WWE can return. The order says no large gatherings of more than 10 people. It mentions nothing about events like WWE having events at 25%. Where are you, M. Baxter? Swamp Manor says, Days, I want Alexa Bliss back as a heel, single star, and to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Liam Costa says, what's up, Days? How are you doing? I saw the podcast with Corey Graves and Jeff Hardy, and Jeff said the two people that he wants to face before he retires is Brock and The Fiend. What do you think? I think it's very hard with Jeff because he's not the most reliable performer. I think Jeff versus Brock would be very interesting, but they're currently on different brands. Obviously, that's a quick fix. And he's on the same brand as The Fiend, but I can't recall any history. Other than the fact that Bray was obviously in Deleter of Worlds with Matt. And I suppose Jeff was kind of in that Ultimate Deletion, Final Deletion match that Bray was in as well. So I suppose there is a little something there. So I suppose they could do something with that. I suppose that'd be interesting. Bray could always say he felt bad, but they can't really talk about Matt, can they? It's a bit hard, isn't it? It's a bit hard to tell that story if you can't talk about Matt. So it could happen. It could happen. I just don't know what I want to see with Jeff, to be honest, because his last run wasn't the best. I wasn't excited when he was coming down to the ring and having his matches. His matches were all right, and I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but he didn't really have like that crazy crowd support, so they kind of need to figure out a good feud for him. I think he was missing a really good feud. Although saying that, he had that feud with Randy Orton. Do you remember when Orton ripped the things out of his ear? That was kind of extreme, wasn't it? I'm not sure. Can't quite put my finger on it. Something. It might just be that he was so unreliable and he'd been away for so long, or perhaps he needed a few feuds or something. But he was just kind of there. Can't quite put my finger on it. Shout out to famous KJ. Days, Vince fell off a tower. He did, yes. This could be to do with Money in the Bank, but I'm not sure. Becky Lynch has come out and said that Vince fell off a tower recently, and it's amazing to see what he can still do at the age of 74. Obviously, that's got people talking about Money in the Bank now. The comment could have been designed for that reason. It could have been that it's to get everyone talking about Money in the Bank. It could have been something to do with WrestleMania. I mean, we don't know. She said recently. Well, WrestleMania was recently. Kevin Owens fell off the WrestleMania sign. We don't know what they had planned for WrestleMania when it was in Tampa. So she could be talking about stuff like that. So there was nothing that implied this was Money in the Bank related. Everyone seems to be taking it that way. And it absolutely could be. I'm not saying that it categorically isn't. I think it was a well-timed comment, to be honest. I think that it's got people talking about Money in the Bank. So, fair play. That's kind of what you want to see. You want people talking about Money in the Bank because you want Money in the Bank to be, well, I want it to be a great success, I think it is genuinely an exciting show, having them fighting their way through the building, So, when are we going to see that again? We might never see that again. So, I think it was a well-timed comment, let's put it that way. Eric Haberman, shout out to you. Cooper Anderson asks, when is Money in the Bank? It is next weekend. So a week on Sunday. Next weekend, we've actually got big UFC show, absolutely huge. And we've got an absolutely massive WWE show as well. So next weekend is huge. Dave's amazing background of Asuka. I'm a big Asuka fan, and her dancing away always brings a lot of joy. Days Vince has said he'll only have Rousey back if she works full-time. Okay, I've not heard that rumor. Hey, Wrestling Days, they could use Matt Hardy, but only if they have permission from AEW, and they might have to pay Matt as well. To be honest, Sonny, they just they wouldn't do it. I don't think they would want to mention Matt at all. Not only are they not going to want to have to go to AEW to get permission, because I don't think the relationship between the two companies is that great, but also they're not going to want to promote AEW stars at all. So I just don't think they'd do it. I don't think they would. I was surprised they even showed him last week during the Jeff Hardy kind of story, but they sort of had to because they were talking about WrestleMania 33 when the Hardy Boys returned. But make no mistake about it, you only saw Jeff going into the trailer to hide. You only saw like Jeff coming down the ramp. You only saw Jeff in the ring. The only time that we saw Matt was when Jeff and Matt were talking just before they went through the curtain. And I think they only showed Matt because they literally had a conversation. If Jeff had said anything on his own, they probably just would have shown that. So, yeah, I think they're going to try and avoid including Jeff in this as much as they can. And that's even if they do that story. They might not even want to do that story. This was just something Jeff said. Jeff said he would like to face The Fiend and he would like to face Brock, but that might not be Creative's plans, you know. Days Sonya will cost Mandy the match. I could see that. Diz Salah, shout out to you, bud. Days, did you ever see the Ring of Honor figures? I did, yep. Not a massive fan, to be honest. I know Tommy Toy Travels reviewed them and found that they broke very, very easily. That figure toy company, I mean, like, the likenesses look all right. I think the articulation, the accessories look all right. But apparently the build quality is not great. So, just one to be aware of. I think if you're just going to display them, I think they would look cool. Who will win Money in the Bank? I think Braun will win. I think that Bray... I don't want to say Bray's not focused on the title because he has said that he wants it back. He has said to Braun, "You've got something I want." And he said that, you know, you don't have to have the match if you just give me the title back. So I'm not going to say that Bray's not interested, but I think Bray will potentially, you know, get disqualified or counted out, or there'll be something along those lines that means that he still looks strong but doesn't win the title. If you need TV shows to get your mind off, then Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Lucifer are good shows. Thank you, Sonny Wolf. Yeah, it's just something that I like to watch. Like, do you know what I mean? If I'm about to go to bed and there's like, I don't know, maybe I'm starting to feel tired and I'm like, right, I'll go to bed in half an hour. And I've just been doing wrestling all day, you know, researching wrestling, probably doing a stream. So we've been watching wrestling. Obviously, when I go on YouTube and Twitter and YouTube comments and everything, I'm talking about wrestling. So sometimes you do just want, do you know what I mean? You don't want chocolate ice cream all the time. Sometimes you might want strawberry. So, yeah, sometimes I will just, before I go to bed, watch something different. Yeah. Days, we should do a watch-along on Sunday. Yeah, I'm not too sure what I'm doing on Sunday. I think tomorrow we'll do a stream on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. Sunday, I honestly don't know. I haven't really got a plan at the moment, so I need to. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure that out tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm on the Coaster Maniacs channel. There will be something on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel as well. But of course, brand new episode of Wrestling Escape Pod tonight after SmackDown, all about funniest moments. So looking forward to that. Miss Clown 1 says, in the voice of Barrett, boom. Tony says, who cares about Corey? We've got bigger issues in the world. He comes back. That is his risk taking. Liam says, Days, Jeff said because he faced Brock for Brock's first match, he said it's only right if he faces Brock for his own last match. I'm almost done with Lucifer, says Monica King. Stormblast says Asuka is boring. Personally, I would say she's been one of the most entertaining parts throughout lockdown, with her dancing and her promos and her commentary, and I think her in-ring abilities are some of the best we've ever seen. So I struggle to agree with you on that one, my friend. Michael says, did any of you guys hear about the new virtual basement wrestling game? Yes, apparently it's got a lot of indie talent that's signed up to it. Haven't seen any graphics or anything like that, but yeah, it seems interesting, but I fear it's going to get a little bit lost because obviously the new 2K Battlegrounds is probably going to get the most press attention. I think that Retromania Wrestling, what with it having the NWA Power Studio, looks great as well. And you got Road Warriors, you've got Nikita Koloff, the current NWA champ Nick Aldis. There's loads. Colt Cabana, John Morrison's in the game. It looks really, really fun. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Bliss and Cross versus Aliyaba. Bro, Seth Rollins is still one of the best male superstars, and Drew, they are running WWE. Yeah, I think that match should be very interesting. I think Seth versus Drew is going to be a great match for both of them. I think Drew needs great matches, and I think that Seth definitely could give him that. So this is a big moment for Drew. I've been very critical of Drew. I did enjoy his big match actually. I enjoyed that, but I really do want a good match out of him here as champion. So let's see what they can come up with. Daisy's having crowds back a good idea. We've kind of covered that, bud. I think we've said everything that needs to be said on that. I feel like it's a little soon, but clearly many other people don't. You know, it seems like a lot of places are starting to reopen and whatever. So we'll see. We'll see if it's a good idea. Days, I have a rare retro Hulk Hogan figure. Amazing. Jerry says, Days, for the escape pod, how about best masked wrestlers and best face painted wrestlers? Absolutely, yes. We vote on them. We vote on the subjects. So you guys choose what it is that the podcast talk about. So funniest moments was actually voted for the other week. So it got recorded on Tuesday. And next week's episode is best theme tunes. And that was voted for as well. So we will actually vote tomorrow for what the next episode's going to be. So again, if you're there, that might make it into the poll. We are 13 minutes away, my friends. Let me just give you a quick recap as to what's happening tonight for anyone that's just joined us. Welcome, if you have as well. Daniel Bryan is taking on King Corbin. Daniel Bryan wanting some revenge for last week. Mandy Rose is taking on Carmella in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Otis is taking on Dolph Ziggler in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. New Day are taking on the Forgotten Sons. Also, the Hacker has heavily teased that he could be around tonight because last week his coordinates took you to a place called Truth or Consequences, and then at the start of the week they had changed to Last Chance. So if we were at Last Chance earlier in the week, then does that mean that he's going to make an appearance tonight? I would fancy our chances. I think we'll get something. I don't know what. I'm not expecting face reveals, but I'm expecting something. So, is the podcast at 10:15 because I'm nicking odd with my other friends before this stream ends. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Nails. It is at 10:15 for the Wrestling Escape Pod. But again, the thing with the Wrestling Escape Pod is, yeah, it's definitely fun to watch it with the chat. And obviously me and Tommy are in the chat as well. So We'll just chat away, answer any questions, just join in, whatever the conversation is, have a bit of fun. But the whole podcast is designed to be listened to at any time. That's what makes them so good in that sense, you know. Days, my first live event was Unforgiven in Oklahoma City on September 18th, says famous KJ Carter. Very cool. Days, what is better, Braun in My Light or Voices? What do you mean? Braun in My Light. Is that Braun's song? Is that what it's called? Are you asking what's better, the Randy Orton theme or the Braun theme? If that's the question, I'll say Randy Orton's theme. Sam says, Days, did you see that Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are teaming up in AEW? No. Because they definitely are not. Yeah, boy says, am I the only one cooking, trying to chat at the same time? I think you are. We've got 10 minutes to go, my friends. 10 minutes to go till we get to this week's SmackDown. Quite a lot for them to try and shoehorn in just a couple of hours. Yeah, I mean, obviously the ratings at the moment aren't brilliant. So I kind of feel like they really do need to do something to try and wake everyone up and get people talking. I know that we're getting ever closer to Money in the Bank. Obviously, we had that Triple H segment last week, but the ratings on that were not great. I enjoyed the majority of that segment, but yeah, people aren't tuning in. Raw was one of the lowest rate. I think it had the lowest rated segment ever. And the overall show was like one of the lowest ever. So yeah, it's a bit of a worrying time at the moment. So we'll have to see what they can come up with tonight. I am the Fiend. Let me in, says the Fiend. I love the toy hunts. Thank you very much, Squiddy Dragon. Shout out to you. Rebecca Curry says, Days, the first ever show I watched was when Undertaker and Brock had a brawl in the ring, and the ring filled with superstars in 2015. Very cool. I remember that. Holding them apart, pulling them apart. It's always fun when that happens. Big Boy Dally says, Days, do you own any type of console? Yes, I've got a PS4, but I never play it, so... Ali has got a great gimmick. Do you think the Iconics will come back, says Cooper Anderson? I've heard they are going to come back, but they're going to come back with a new gimmick. So that was the rumour that there's going to be a change. I kind of liked the Iconics. I thought they were fun and funny, and I didn't really see what the problem was. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of, in all fairness, I thought them talking down to the ring was a bit hit and miss. But when they were backstage with Kathy Kelly, they were always hilarious. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I can't imagine them more serious. I can't imagine them acting sexy. I don't know. I don't know. I really do feel like the way they were being presented was them. You know, they're fun and everything. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be like when they come back. The first I watched was Survivor Series, says Colette. Days, do you think we will see Bray and The Fiend at Money in the Bank? I'm not sure. You could. I mean, there could be a way that the lights go out when they come back on. Bray is in there, because of course this is all pre-taped. I don't believe the matches are going to be live. We know that Money in the Bank has already been recorded. And I'd imagine the whole show has, to be honest. So they can definitely mess around with things in editing. But I'm not sure that means that we do. I suppose in a way I'd be surprised if we didn't. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not expecting two separate matches. ULVI says, Days, did you watch the Infinity Saga? No. Got Disney Plus, and if you didn't watch it, I recommend it for binge watching. Besides, a friend of mine did some of the animation. Very cool. It's not really my kind of thing, to be honest. I'm someone that really enjoys documentaries, and I mean, I love real life stuff. We've spoke about it before. People have asked me what my favourite superhero stuff is, and I always say I really enjoyed Gotham. because certainly at the start of Gotham, it was all based in realism. I think it did start getting a bit supernatural, but I only got as far as like halfway through season 2. So I don't know. I don't really know how it develops and whatever, but all the baddies were like coming out of a mental asylum, like Arkham Asylum. And obviously you've got Batman, who hasn't got superpowers. He's just got like a great body armor and a fast car and, you know, like gadgets and things. So I'm kind of into that more so than I am like Thor and all these kind of, you know, those kind of things. Although, in all fairness, I mean, as a kid, I enjoyed the Superman film and Lois and Clark. Do you remember that TV show that was around in the 90s? I used to watch that as well, so it's not as if I hate it, but I wouldn't necessarily go out my way to watch that kind of stuff. Christy Zuba, Days, are you doing any more death-defying bookcase acts? Shout out to you, Chris. Sadly not, because I don't have any more bookcases that I can climb. Christy Zuba. There we go. Thank you at the bottom of the screen for you, Chris. Really appreciate the support, buddy. No, there's nothing else to climb. I mean, I've got my figure shelves, but I wouldn't really want to be pulling them to the floor, to be honest. Plus, they are heavy. If they were to go and I was to fall under them, I would be in big trouble. That other bookcase was not light, but it did not have the weight that these have. So, yeah, that's no is the answer. And like the wardrobe, I've got no bookcases in my bedroom, and my wardrobe is like a fitted wardrobe. It's actually like a cupboard that's built into the wall. So no, there isn't, unfortunately. But I would love to do some more figure videos or something. I do feel like it's definitely time, but I don't know. I stream every day. I love hanging out with the community. So I don't know what day this is. Well, I know it's Friday, but we've streamed every single day for like 20-something days in a row, and I honestly don't know how many days it's been, but it just doesn't leave any free time. And as we said, tomorrow I'm on Coaster Maniac's channel, and I'll definitely do some on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel as well. And then we'll see. And obviously we're building towards Money in the Bank and everything, so whew, so much going on, my friends. We got 4 minutes till SmackDown begins as well. So there's not even any time to really talk about much else. When will it start? For 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Just stop, Days. Your figures are so much better than mine. They're not that great, in all fairness, because I've used them for matches and stuff, and like there's just I've got like a pile of accessories down there. I mean, what I need to do is really match it all back up. I need to put glasses back on and match the accessories up, and it's like, oh, it's going to take hours to do all of that. I've just got a massive box down here that's just full of figures. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. LeBron fan 23, shout out to you. Walid says, why are WWE still doing main event? The show sucks. Days, are you a Drew fan? Not really, Colette. No, I can't call myself a Drew fan. He didn't really do anything in 2019 that impressed me. He got a few wins towards the end and turned face. It was enough for him to be a favourite going into the Royal Rumble. Obviously, he won the Rumble, and there was nothing in the build towards WrestleMania that impressed me or excited me. Then he won a bit of a nothing match at WrestleMania. I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty down on Drew rather than being a fan. But, again, I will repeat, I did enjoy his match he had against Big Show. I thought that it was a decent match. It looked like he was going to lose that match, because obviously it was only 20 minutes after he'd just beaten Brock. I really love the fact as well he didn't want the match. I do give him a lot of credit for that, because so many times you've got like these fighting champions which just come across as idiots to me. I don't look at fighting champions and think, oh yeah, that they've got a lot of honor and all this. I just think they're idiots. Like, if you work hard to get to the top of the mountain, to be classed as the best, then why are you going to defend that title at any opportunity and every opportunity to be a fighting champion? No, if it's a real sport, then you need to work towards matches, train towards matches. Do you know what I mean? Not just someone challenges you and you have a fight there and then. So no, I'm not. I really like the fact that Drew said, "I'm not going to fight you." To Big Show. I've only 20 minutes ago I just fought Brock Lesnar. But he ends up having the match anyway, and obviously Claymore Kick gets the win. And yeah, I enjoyed that match. So I am looking forward to him against Seth. And as I said earlier, I'm really hoping that that's going to be a really good match. Right, how long we got? We got no time. It is already 1 o'clock. So we are going over to SmackDown right now. It is time, my friends. It is time. Favorite Jax figures? I think I did a video on that. I can't quite think off the top of my head because I'd never collected Jax. But I went back and had a look through them all, and I seem to remember there was a great Ric Flair Classic Superstars. The Classic Superstars had some great figures in. Here we go. Otis got the girl, but which one will go to Money in the Bank? Otis or Dolph? It's a big versus, isn't it? It's little Otis, little Dolph, and a massive versus. Talking of the girl, Mandy is in action as well against Carmella. We know who Corey Graves is rooting for. Firefly Funhouse tonight, brand new episode. A new episode. You know, this will probably be a backstage thing, I would imagine. But who cares? New episode, something to look forward to. And we're going to start with Daniel Bryan as well. So Daniel Bryan is going to start us off. Daniel Bryan obviously taking on King Corbin. There we go. It's going to be a lot of excitement about the fact there's a new Firefly Funhouse. Daniel Bryan. So we're just having a look at the current lineup. So Apollo Crews is out. So we've got Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, King Corbin, and Daniel Bryan. That is our lineup. Oh, it's a promo first. Here we go. Daniel starting with a promo. Daniel says he loves this. And he loves tackling new challenges. He says he's excited he can compete in the most unique Money in the Bank match in history. Brandy Smith. Hello, Brandy. How are you? Brandy says, hope you are well and thank you for everything. Shout out to you, Brandy. Hello, my friend. Brandy actually has got a new segment that's going to be on the Insiders podcast called The Hot Tag. She's been asking for people to get in touch and send in Bret Hart moments, your favorite Bret Hart moments. So feel free to get in touch with probably send it over to the Insiders. I think I retweeted it earlier, so you can go to my Twitter and find it there. So yeah, shout out to you, Brandy. I can tell you, everyone, Brandy, is saying hello to you. You've taken over the stream. This is Friday Night Brandy Smith. Smithdown. That's what this is. Daniel Bryan says, is it true that Mr. McMahon has got real dinosaur bones in his office? He does actually have a dinosaur something on the wall, but I don't know if they're real bones or what they actually are. I don't know what they are, actually. I've never thought that they're real. I always thought it was like an art piece. Are they real? Are they real dinosaur bones? It's very interesting from Daniel. He's talking about when he cashed in on Big Show. Well, you should cash it in on the Big Show show. Days, name the jobber. Tell us what the jobber looks like. There is no jobber. Carol Baskin is going to replace... I hope so, Ada. I hope Carol Baskin replaces Apollo. That'd be amazing. Or maybe Carol Baskin's husband. Daniel saying he belongs here with the very, very best. And he's excited. But he's also sad. Oh. He said he was hoping that Drew Gulak, his coach and good friend, would also be a part of it. In the voice of Barrett. Boom. Why doesn't he just talk to the camera? He's talking to no one. He is talking to the camera. He's looking right down the camera. He says, King Corbin, let's settle this right now. Vape Ross Vape says they are the bones of Iron Mike Sharp. Yeah, well, I really want to know if they're real dinosaur bones now. I think Daniel's just asked a big question there. I'm very interested to find out the answer. Are they real dinosaur bones? I think it's like it can't be. It can't be. I would imagine that it's like a plaster cast replica or something. It's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex head in his office. That makes me think we're definitely going into Vince's office. How long will it be until Gulak turns? Not sure. We're having a look at last week when King Corbin defeated Gulak. You can see Cesaro and Nakamura beating up on Daniel Bryan outside the ring. And that allowed King Corbin to get the advantage. End of days on Gulak. And eliminate him from the Money in the Bank. And then after using that scepter, jabbing it into the throat of Gulak. Apparently, Sami Zayn doesn't want to be around at the moment with the uncertainty, and so that's why there was no Sami Zayn. I read that on a rumor site. Who would you rather win, Mandy or Carmella? I don't really mind, to be honest. I suppose Mandy's got a bit more momentum about her at the moment. Dude. What are you going to do if you win? Are you going to squander your opportunity? Nice. You are one of only 4 people to blow it. Of course, Baron Corbin won the Money in the Bank before. That was a disappointing year. You blew it. He did blow it. That doesn't make you a king. It makes you a loser. I'm loving this, Daniel Bryan. A lot of things have changed. Corbin saying to Daniel Bryan, you've become tired and desperate. I would agree. I don't like the Brian Gulak thing. I think it probably is working for Gulak. I think it is elevating Gulak a little bit, but it's not doing anything for Daniel. So here we go. King Corbin against Daniel Bryan. Coming up next. So a little back and forth between the two. I mean, look, is it the most exciting opening to SmackDown? No. But what they have done is at least told you why we're having this match. You know, it's happening because of what happened last week. There was a little promo in there, a little back and forth between the two of them. Not the most exciting thing in the world. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Days, did you hear that Mike Tyson wants to fight again? I did not. Dave in real life says, promo, thumbs up. Corbin as a heel is great, says Wrestling Days fam. Time to make Sasha Banks the face of SmackDown, says Da Truth. Corbin, you mean King in the Bank, says John Elite. I'm pulling for Daniel to win this, says Sonny Wolf. Days, have you seen Goodfellas? Yes, that's a classic film. Days, are you watching SmackDown on BT? Because I am, and I'm behind you. Yeah, I'm watching it on BT. I don't know why you would be behind me. I'm watching it on BT, yeah. The jobber is 6'8" and he wears a crown. Well, there we go. Are you talking about the Queen? Are you talking about Queen? I don't think she's 6'8". Tony says, Days, you should check out the video of Brian and El Generico, their Hug It Out video from Ring of Honor. I've not seen it. Sounds interesting. Days, I dare you to try and talk like Asuka. P.S. I'm not a fan of the one elbow pad. Roland's one glove is better. By the way, I think Vince has Luchasaurus's brother in his office. Well, undeniable heel. There may be an Asuka impression on tonight's Wrestling Escape Pod. I might mention the fact that I've found her to be very entertaining at this time and then break out a little Asuka impression. So I might not ruin tonight's Wrestling Escape Pod. Days, I love it when you say my name. Oh, kinky. Supreme Kermit the Frog. There you go, you're welcome. Daniel Bryan is the only one that the Fiend faced and didn't turn heel. No, but he was sort of a heel already starting to turn face. So you could argue that the Fiend helped just push that along a little bit. I'm not so sure that there's a great deal in the Fiend turning people. I really feel like you're going to have to plan that out long term if that's going to be a story. And WWE are just not capable of that kind of long term booking. So, yeah, I think they're going to struggle with that on an ongoing basis. But it kind of works in the, you know. But you're right, Daniel didn't turn heel after facing the Fiend, but then neither did Goldberg. Right, we're about to go back to SmackDown, back to the action. We're already 15 minutes in. Days, Kevin Owens has not held a championship for 3 years. Here we go. Corbin and Daniel locking up. I don't mind this match because Daniel wants revenge after what happened to Gulak. If this was just going to be a Money in the Bank kind of warm-up, the winner's going to get momentum type match, then I'd be very down on it. But I can see a reason for this match. And the little promo between the two of them at the start was all right. It's not anything that's going to, you know, affect ratings, but it was all right. Here we go. The two of them locking up. Daniel dropping down, kicking out at the hands, kicking out at the thigh, and King Corbin having to walk away. So Daniel circling around King Corbin, looking for a test of strength again as Corbin drives him back to the corner. King Corbin is, big strike to the midsection by Corbin, forearm strike to the face. Daniel Bryan goes down, and now Corbin having a few words with the ref as those kicks are coming back in by Daniel, who's trying to take King Corbin down with a single leg. He's holding on to that leg. And Corbin grabbing him by the head. Michael Wheeler, shout out to you. Down goes Daniel Bryan. What is on King Corbin's arm? Is that a red tattoo or is it blood? He's got like this red on his arm, which I can't recall seeing before. So I can't tell if he's already grazed himself or if it's a tattoo. Is that a tattoo? Is that like a bright red tattoo? It really jumps out because there's not much colour on his arm. Here we go. Look, nice single leg takedown by Daniel, and he's working on the left leg, kicking out at it. Corbin down on the mat. And again, kicking out. Corbin getting over to the ropes. Daze, do you by chance have any cheese? I do not. What if Enzo and Cass came back? I can't see it. They were causing a lot of problems backstage. Make a wish. Help us make every wish come true. I couldn't even read it before it disappeared. Total Bellas. Oh my God, why is this so fast? Netflix, the big show. Ah, it's gone again! Man, the little graphic is on screen for nowhere near long enough. By the time you start reading it, it's already gone. That was a disaster. Well, that was the most WWE thing I've ever seen. Well done, WWE. Daniel Bryan has got King Corbin down face first on the mat. He's trying to get the legs crossed over. And pull him back. So King Corbin face down. Daniel has tied the legs up and now he's really wrenching back on them. Chris DeZuba says, I got thank Chris DeZuba on the bottom of the screen. Here's another 5. Can we put a U in there? Oh, what? Did I not put a thank you? Have a look. Oh, you're absolutely right. There you go. Rectified, my friend. These guys been praying for the pandemic to end, not just here in the Philippines, but around the world. Absolutely. Right, stomp on the arm by King Corbin, who's walking with a slight limp now after the work that Daniel's been doing on his leg. Really interested in that red that's on the inside of his arm. I think it might be a tattoo because he's got a flash of red on the outside of his arm as well. So I don't know if he's gone and got himself a new bright red tattoo. Here we go. He's got Daniel in a bit of a camel clutch, but not quite. Oh, he's just got him chin lock. As he's firing elbows into the chest, and he's talking trash as Daniel gets up to his feet. Forearm strike, strikes back by Daniel, and kicks coming in by Daniel as well. Days, on Sunday you should do a live stream of a recent WrestleMania, like 31 or 32. You would have to be Johnny 5 to be able to read those adverts. You would, yes. Days, how do you think this Money in the Bank is going to work? Are they going to come from different sides? I don't know, dude. It would just be pure speculation. I don't even know if it's going to be 2 separate matches. I mean, I really thought it was. When have they ever run the match at the same time? But then, when have they ever done it at the headquarters before? They haven't, have they? So... Daniel Bryan gets hit to the outside and gets thrown into the ring post by King Corbin. Big smile on his face as we go to commercial break. Days, Cena versus Triple H versus Orton should have main evented Mania 24 instead of Undertaker versus Edge. Okay. Monica King says, it's a tattoo. Every time I look at it, I also think it's blood. Yeah, it really threw me. I honestly thought that he'd grazed his arm. It looks like a graze. It's blood red. That tattoo, it's so bright. It's got to be new. Fibbin says, Days, the only drawback I see with characters like Kane and Undertaker and Fiend are that they can never be pushed as a face of a company due to their gimmicks being dark. Well, look, I don't think that's a problem, to be honest. I don't think that it held the Undertaker back. So I think the Fiend would love to be as popular as the Undertaker. The problem is that he definitely has potential to do that, but they've got to book him better. They've already made too many mistakes within the first year, and he definitely deserves better. I mean, a lot of the great stuff that he's done has come from him, and has come from his creativity and the fun house and things like that. When it comes to the actual booking of the matches, that's where they keep dropping the ball. You know, the end of Hell in a Cell upset a lot of people. Goldberg upset a lot of people. The Funhouse thing at WrestleMania being advertised as a match, I wouldn't say that upset a lot of people. I'd say it confused a lot of people. So, yeah, I kind of feel like he's doing all this great work and then WWE just occasionally have let him down over the past year. So, I don't know. Look, we're going to have to see where we go from here. I've got high hopes for this feud against Braun. And I kind of feel like, you know, getting back to some Funhouse episodes would be a good thing. We haven't seen enough Funhouse episodes, to be honest, in recent times. Days, if Daniel Bryan wins Money in the Bank, can he cash in on Sammy? I don't know why he would want to. If you've got the opportunity to go for a world title, why would you go for an intercontinental title? I'm not too sure. Days, it's not two separate matches because Daniel said in his promo both men and women are fighting to get the briefcase at the same time. Okay, I didn't hear that. Days, if Daniel Bryan wins Money in the Bank, can he cash in on Sammy? I don't know why he would want to, is my answer. Chris DeZuba says, this is from Sunny Wolf. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much, Sunny. We are now back to the action. And Daniel Bryan is down face first. He's got Corbin's knee in the back of his neck. Both guys getting back up to their feet. Daniel getting pushed back against the ropes. And he's trying to power his way out. Big strike to the midsection. And again by King Corbin. One more time. And Daniel Bryan slumps down. Angelica says Sasha Banks are too pretty and get lots of money. Sasha Banks, change your hair colour to purple or blue because those colours that are purple and blue are gods. And colours of red are bad. I think Sasha's hair is blue, isn't it? Knee to the midsection by Corbin. And Daniel getting hurled hard into the corner. Corbin going after him, slides out the ring, straight back in. Big clothesline and Daniel goes down. Corbin getting some offense in. 2 and a count of 2 as well. Not the most exciting match I've ever seen. But it's a match. It's definitely a match. They're definitely both giving it... they're all here trying to get the win. Sammy needs a push, says XP Super 90. Well, they have just put the IC belt on him. Days, I think the worst WrestleMania was 27. What do you think? I would have to look at the cards, to be honest. 27, I do remember not being particularly great. Main event with Miz and Cena, and yeah, I remember it not being great. Oh, hello. Tuesday at 7, best of WWE. On Tuesday on FS1, we've got the best of WWE. Well, that's a big statement. Big strike across the shoulder. Days, what do you think about Braun letting Bray in and joining him again? How awesome would that be? Could be a lot of fun, Carrington. Yeah, I know a lot of people that don't want any other members. But honestly, with Curtis Axel leaving, I would be tempted to put Bo with Bray. And you could put Braun back with Bray. Imagine that as a faction. Imagine that as a funhouse family. Bo Dallas, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt terrorizing the WWE. And I would not keep them to SmackDown. No one's going to tell them what to do. If they want to go and cause trouble on Raw or NXT or even NXT UK, who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop? No one's going to stop them. Missile dropkick by Daniel Bryan. King Corbin goes down. They love these long first matches, don't they? I mean, we're 25 minutes into this show. Kick coming in by Daniel. And again. And another one. I don't mind these long matches, in all fairness, as long as they're entertaining. This has been okay. Daniel going down, taking the legs away from King Corbin. Lovely. Ankle lock by Daniel. Middle of the ring. He's trying to twist on that ankle. King Corbin struggling to get to the ropes. Daniel putting his foot down. Stomps on it. And looking for a yes kick. Boom. Down goes Corbin. Quick pin. 2. Daniel doesn't hook the leg and only gets a 2. Doesn't hook the leg again. Why has he gone for a 3rd pin when Corbin has just kicked out twice? That would be cool. It would be like Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness, says Ryan. That would be awesome. Superflux, shout out to you. If you was the chairman of WWE, what match or feud or storyline would you book? I'd do that. I'd be tempted to go in that direction. I think that'd be a really, really interesting faction. I think people would really get on board with it. You got the power of Braun. The creativity of Bray. And I don't know what Bo would bring. Bo, I think, would be a bit of a mystery. Because he's been this comedy character for so long. But he is a former NXT champion, Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas was NXT champ. They saw great potential in Bo. I need to go back, actually, and watch some of those NXT episodes where Bo was the champ. I'm not too sure what his matches were like down in NXT. So there we go. There's something to add to my to-do list. Big right hands coming in by King Corbin. Boom. Kick by Daniel. And Daniel again going for that leg. Single leg Boston. But Corbin getting over to the ropes. Have we not got time limits? What's the time limit on this match? Boom. Kicking at the head as King Corbin is draped along the edge of the ring and he collapses to the outside. Daniel going against the ropes for a suicide dive but gets caught by Corbin. Daniel kicks at the legs. Corbin goes down. Kick to the head. Corbin stumbles over to a ladder but uses that ladder. Hurls it at Daniel. And the result is a DQ finish. So, because Corbin uses the ladder, I think Daniel wins by DQ. And he does. Days, what wrestlers do you hate? I don't know if I hate anyone, to be honest. I don't know who I hate. Let me know. Who do you hate? Who do you hate in WWE? I'm struggling to think of anyone. I think the wrestlers that I didn't really enjoy that much are getting opportunities at the moment. You know, I didn't really enjoy Dana Brooke, but she's had a few decent moments in recent weeks. Same with Apollo. without being nasty, there was a few superstars that I was never a massive fan of that unfortunately got released. I never wanted to see them get released. Yes, look, on top of a ladder. I don't know what the ladder's doing. Oh, Shinsuke! So, Daniel Bryan with a yes lock on King Corbin on a ladder. Shinsuke and Cesaro interfere again. Cesaro driving that ladder into Daniel. So here we go. We got King Corbin with Daniel. Daniel on the entrance ramp. Bad match. Long match. I think the wrestling was okay. Into the ladders. He just hurls Daniel into the ladders. Could that happen on top of the WWE headquarters? Days, can you laugh like the $1 Million Man? Probably. Days, what is your favourite World Championship design from any company? Winged Eagle from WWE. I really do like the AEW belt as well, though, so all credit to that. The end was pretty bad. I don't really like Shinsuke and Sheamus getting involved, to be honest. I feel like these stories are just told so many times, you know? Here we go. We've got Braun backstage with Alexa. Braun has got a... He's got an Alexa and Nikki t-shirt. He wipes his face, gives it back to Alexa, and she purposefully lets it fall on the floor. WWE's corporate headquarters. Get to the top. Grab the contract. The risk is worth the reward. 1 week from Sunday. It's going to be huge. Make no mistake about it. I'm really pumped for Money in the Bank. A week on Sunday. Not long to wait. 12 superstars will start at the bottom of WWE headquarters. And they've got to fight their way through. You know we're going to see the gym. You know we're going to see Vince's office. You know we'll probably see Triple H's as well. You know that walls are going to get broken. Doors are going to get broken. We're probably even going to go into the catering area and the kitchen area. And someone might get their head flushed down a toilet. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be carnage. So, yeah, we'll have to see how it all plays out. But I am looking forward to it. Jake Ernie says, take me back to 2000. Oh, man. We watched the Royal Rumble yesterday. Royal Rumble 2000. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Days, Bo is the youngest ever NXT champion. If Bo Dallas joins the Funhouse, how would you introduce and book him? I would just have a masked figure, to be honest. I would have a new character, a masked figure, let people speculate for a while as to who it is, and then have him in the Funhouse as a happy, smiley kind of character, very similar to how Bray is in the Funhouse, and again, kind of show his split personality. Show you know, it's a potential, it's an opportunity to get a whole new Fiend. Because the Fiend is Bray's darkness. So what does Bo's darkness look like? That means you could, like, think of the merch. That means a whole new character, a whole nother mask, a whole nother Fiend, another great toy for Mattel to make. And I'm telling you, if Vince can smell money, he'll go that way. Vince is like a pig looking for truffles. So, yeah, if he can smell the money, he'll go that way. Has the B Team and Shelton Benjamin been released? No, I've not heard that Shelton Benjamin's gone, but Curtis Axel has. So, I thought Shinsuke and Cesaro were with Sami Zayn. They are, but Sami at the moment can't compete or doesn't want to compete. There's kind of conflicting reports. I've heard that he doesn't want to be competing at the moment with the whole COVID-19 thing. So that's why he's not around at the moment. So looks like they're putting Nakamura and Cesaro with King Corbin for the time being. Days, I've heard a rumor that WWE is going to put the title back on Bray and go to their original plan where Bray would drop the title to Roman when he comes back. What do you think about that? I've heard this. I'm not sure I believe it. I think it was an article that said the next two Universal Champions revealed, and they claimed that it was going to be Bray and then it was going to be Roman. I'm not sure that they're going to do that, to be honest. I don't know. I think it would be awful. I can't see any way that would work for the Fiend or for Bray. They can't keep flip-flopping these titles around. Do you know what I mean? How's the title meant to have prestige? How are you meant to care when someone wins it if they're just going to keep flopping it about? So I really hope it's not true. Oh, look at this! Captain Tom Moore! They're mentioning him! He's a colonel now. He's a massive deal here in the UK. I didn't know that you'd heard about him in America. That's amazing. So, a little message to Captain Tom Moore. He's raised £32 million. It was his birthday yesterday. He became a colonel. He became an honorary member of the England cricket team. He had Spitfires flying past and everything. He's a legend. I love him. He is cool. He is very cool. I did see that Drew on Twitter had given him the title with the side plate and everything. I didn't expect them to mention it on the show. I thought it was kind of like a UK specific thing. Captain who? There we go. I thought it was weird. I didn't think America had really heard of him. He was a guy. He's a guy who's 100, who did 100 laps around his garden. And he wanted to raise money for the National Health Service. And he was hoping to raise like £1,000. He's just raised 32 million. Last week we took a trip down memory lane. The past is exactly that. What we got, baby? What we got, Brawny? Here we go. So, is this the Funhouse episode, or is this going to be like a promo? Look at this. You got Bray in the rocking chair. That brings back some memories, talking about going down memory lane. Quite interesting that the pictures in the background are not all John Cena like we've seen before. But we've got Daniel Bryan and we've got Mick Foley and people that he's attacked in the past. Story time, and this is called the Black Sheep, which is obviously Braun Strowman's name when he was in the Wyatt family. Once upon a time, there was a black sheep. He looked a lot like you. Not me, Braun. And he smelled a little funny. So there's no sign of the puppets at this stage. So he's talking about how this smart shepherd noticed the black sheep wandering alone. So there we go. The black sheep protected the shepherd. They had a lot of fun. Oh, the selfish black sheep. What did you do? Boo! You left! Yeah, no thank you, no goodbye, no note, never writes, never sends birthday cards. Why would you leave me? He cried. I feel like this story is very similar to the Braun and Bray story. This is Funhouse Bray with glasses in a rocking chair, as we said, bringing back some memories. The reptilians came in and they took over, because that's what reptilians do. Pretty sad ending, don't you agree? Yes, let's have a happier ending. The shepherd finds the black sheep and brings him back. Takes away what makes him happy. Well, that's not happy. That's not a happy ending, is it? Taking him to the slaughterhouse. I thought this was meant to be happy. Braun says, if you've got something to say, come down to this ring and say it to me. Is Bray going to do that? The Fiend will do that. Close up. Little wave. Not even a bye. Oh, there's the bye. I'll see you soon. Bye. Is he behind him or something? Braun looks at the title. Oh, it's the extended one. If you're feeling lonely today. Well, there we go. No puppets. Nothing to really theorize about, but just a little promo that furthers the story. Yeah, they're not really Funhouse episodes, are they? They're just promos. There we go. Reptilians doing what reptilians do. Vince has got a reptilian fossil on his wall. Days, is Roman banned or fired? His self-isolating. Days, can you say damn like Ron Simmons? Yes. More hints that it could be Colt Bray at Money in the Bank. I wanted a feud with Bray and Rowan. That's not happening. Did you hear about Roman Reigns getting fired? He's not fired. I have a feeling that wasn't the last Bray thing today, says Bray. Well, if anyone's going to know, you're going to know. So, there we go. Maybe we will see a little bit more of Bray. £10 a podcast says, don't get me started on reptilians. Days, The Fiend or The Undertaker, and a shout out. Shout out to Beast4164, Mode 4164. Undertaker by a million miles. Jer Hentz says, Bray tried to recruit Bo into the Wyatt family back in 2014 and Bo wouldn't join, so the family attacked Bo. Days, who is your favourite world champion and why? Right now, I would say Nick Aldis in the NWA because he's held that championship for a long time. His last, when he lost it to Cody and got it back from Cody in a match and a feud that really had history and really mattered. Some of his title defenses since that point have been incredible. His match against Marty Scurll at last year's Crockett Cup was fantastic. His little feud that he's had with Tim Storm and the matches he had at NWA Power were brilliant. And I think the fact that he's held it for so long, just really adds to the prestige. It means that when he does lose it, because I'm sure he will at some point, it's going to matter more. It's going to mean something when he loses it. So, yeah, and I think the way he carries himself, you know, with his promos and the way he is on social media and everything, I think he's probably the best world champion at the moment. Who's your least favourite wrestler? I honestly can't say. I don't know. I can't think who my least favourite wrestler is. There's not really anyone that comes out and... The one that I would say frustrates me the most is probably Liv Morgan, if I'm being honest. Because there's so much excitement around her. You just want so much more than what you get. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not someone... I don't care about her looks. I think a lot of people get excited because she's a pretty girl. I'm not bothered. There's a lot of pretty people in wrestling. So that doesn't really do anything for me. Her, when she was teasing that she was going to be joining the Funhouse, and when we had all those cryptic tweets and things like that, it built up all this excitement. To see her just kind of, do you know what I mean, involved in that wedding storyline, and then for that to just get dropped, and then we thought she was going to be involved in a Riot Squad triple threat kind of a thing, and then that seemingly has been dropped. And granted, she's got a couple of wins in the past few weeks against Ruby Riott, so they might be on the verge of something now. But I mean, she just got destroyed in Elimination Chamber, so I just don't know. Everything I'm reading and seeing seems that they just don't have any plans for her. But let's see. I mean, maybe that'll change. But she's not like my least favourite wrestler. But it's just, I can see how excited everyone is about her. So there is definitely an opportunity when it comes to Liv that I think they're really missing. William Hensey says, who are the reptilians? You. You are. You're the reptilian. Sheamus. There we go. Michael Cole says, I don't quite understand what Sheamus's issue with me has been. Clearly it's got something to do with Jeff Hardy. Oh, is it named the Jobber time? I think it's named the Jobber time, so be quick. Is it Leon? Who is it? Leon Ruff. I thought they said Leo Rush. Leon Ruff. It's old Yellow Pants, isn't it? Yellow Pants, that's who we've got. Here we go. You're going to have to be quick, so I don't think this is going to be long, Small Steve. I've already given you Small Steve. No, we've already done Small Steve. We did Small Steve last time. Leo Slow, says John. I like it. I like it. I'm going to go with it. There's no point saying, there's no point typing, name the jobber. Just got to be quick. There we go. Leo Slow. That's who we've got. Chris Stone, Orlando Jordan. Another backbreaker. 3 backbreakers. And Leo Slow gets thrown to the outside. Jessica Carr having a few words with Sheamus. Rough treatment, says 7-star. It is rough treatment. Little E. Little E. Loving some of these. Random Person 5. Here we go. Clubs across the chest. And Leo Slow is collapsing down. Leo not in a rush. Leo tough. Leo don't rush. Small E. Small E. He's battered him. He's absolutely battered him. He's got him in the corner. Sheamus looking for a brogue. Boom! Leo flips inside out. He does look just like Leo Rush. And that's it. Thank you for playing this week's Name the Jobber! Bobby Trashley, Leo Duff, Elias isn't in Money in the Bank, no. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our segment, Name the Jobber. Well, there we go. We got to name the jobber. Days John's picture wasn't crossed out, no. Here we go. Sheamus going over, having a word with Michael Cole. Are you going to talk about your best mate Hardy again, Cole? Let's have a look. So this is the next part of the Jeff Hardy story. Chapter 4, The Comeback. Days, have you heard that crowds might be back next week up to 25%? Yes. Rusty Shackelford says, hi Days, just wanted to say hello to everyone in the community tonight. Shout out to you, Rusty. There we go. Thank you, Rusty Shackelford. Rusty Shackelford, really supportive of the channel. Really appreciate it, dude. We're just seeing 2 months ago, Jeff on Backstage. Are they mocking Leo Rush? I'm not sure. It'd be weird way to mock him. Jeff saying a couple of months ago he had tons of ideas running through his mind. Something left for him to do in WWE. Days Ringside News has confirmed that Money in the Bank matches are going to happen at the same time. Wrestling Days fan says this has not been a good show so far. Well, we're 9 minutes away from the half way scores, so we'll get a read as to what people think. I think that was I'd like more mystery and more theory and more to speculate about with those promos. They are just promos. They keep advertising them as the new Firefly Funhouse episodes, and they're just not, are they? They're just promos. Do you think Liv will win the women's title this year? I don't think so, unless she's going to win Money in the Bank. I don't even know if she's in Money in the Bank, in all fairness. I don't think she is now I've said that. Days, what if Bray goes for New Day after his feud with Braun? Because the New Day has heaps of history together. Yeah, they definitely could be on his hit list. So we're just seeing Jeff Hardy and some of his classic recent moments where he was like US champion. I just imagine Sheamus is still staring, is he, at Michael Cole. He's back next week. Jeff Hardy back next week. And there is Sheamus. Still standing. Jeff Hardy will be here next week. Good. So will I. Smile on the face of Sheamus. Sheamus wants Jeff Hardy. Interesting. There we go. He's got a problem with Jeff Hardy. Days, is John Cena not wrestling anymore? He only does big shows, so when we see him next, I'm expecting him to be heel. I'm expecting him to be maybe a part of the Funhouse. Okay, here's Mandy. Here's Otis. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Otis says, I beat him at WrestleMania. I'm going to beat him tonight, and I'm going to get that Money in the Bank contract. Former best friend. Did you see Sonya Deville's TikToks? I don't mean that in a sexy way. She's quite funny. Otis. Days White hasn't Sheamus and Cesaro met face-to-face since his return. I don't think they've known what to do with Sheamus. I think both of these should be in, because if the matches are running at the same time, they really could try and help each other. Little kiss on the cheek of Otis. Look at Otis's face. Oh, yeah! Here we go. Bit of Carmella. Is Sonya Deville going to cost Mandy? Imagine if Corey Graves costs Mandy. That would be funny. Oh, yeah! Snap into a Slim Jim. Who is the hacker? Well, it's believed that it is Ali, Chad Gable, maybe Xavier. I think Carmella will win thanks to Sonya, says Jim Gore. I wonder if that means that we get Mandy versus Sonya at Money in the Bank then. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Drop them. Hurl them into the chat right now. Score the show out of 10. What do you give SmackDown so far out of 10? Mella's got good music, says Matt. Ducky, says MTers. Yeah, get your scores in. Get your scores in. Yeah, there's been no sign of Shorty G, has there? So I really would think that he is a part of this. Same as Ali. You know, we haven't seen either of those. Xavier Woods says Walid. Chris says 7. Jay says 6. John says 8. Delanio says 16. Andrew says 5. Tony says 0. Shaquem says 5. Swamp Manor says 4. Ben Russell says 7.5. Sandman says 9. George Osborne says 5. Lone Star Friend says 6. Damien says 4. Kevin says 5. Michael says, I miss Eddie Guerrero. Kevin says 5. Jerry says 6. But for the Otis kiss, 10 out of 10. Andrew says 6. Wrestling Days fan says 3. I've got to say, these scores are actually higher than I was expecting. DJ B Tazzy says, I'm just glad to get a show. That's why. That's why. I don't think it's been a particularly good show, but I think people are just happy there is a show. Jim Gore says, I'm thinking maybe a mixed tag match at Money in the Bank with Otis and Mandy versus Dolph and Sonya. The only thing is, Otis and Dolph are in a match, aren't they? So one of them is going to be involved in, unless it ends in some kind of a draw and they both get eliminated. And then that means we need to find someone else. Then could it be that next week Sheamus versus Jeff, winner goes? I don't know. I'm just speaking out loud. We'll find out very soon. 4 out of 10 says 1987, big fan. Mossine says 5. Sonny Wolf says 10. WrestleFactor says 6. William Hensey says 5. The Real Me says 10. LeBron fan 23, 6.25. Famous KJ Carter 7.3. Sonny Wolf says 10. WrestleFactor 6. Paul Barnes says 4 out of 10 so far. Right, well, we are back. Carmella in the ring. We're just waiting for Mandy Rose to come down. I would imagine Sonya Deville will make her presence felt. I don't know if it's going to be enough to help Carmella win. In fairness, if Sonya comes down and beats up Mandy, doesn't Mandy win by DQ? Just saying. Yep. Right, it's Nia, Asuka, Shayna, Dana, Lacey. And will it be Carmella or Mandy? She was the WBFF Bikini World Champion. Why have I never known that before? That must be what? The Women's Body Bikini Female Federation? What the hell is it? What's the WBFF? I wish she was my WBFF. I don't actually. I'd rather be BFFs with Asuka. Mandy Rose's ring attire really reminds me of someone else, and I don't know who. Carmella's like, let's get going. Is it Natalia? Did Natalia used to wear something like that? Let's go, Mandy, says Tony. Shout out to you, Hoof. Shayna for the win, says Bob. Here we go. Carmella has got her legs wrapped around the head of Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose kips up and out. Straight to the midsection. So we've got an hour left. An hour left. Carmella moonwalking away. Days John's picture wasn't crossed out. I know. Vape Ross Vape. She beat me for the BFF by one friggin' vote. Against the ropes goes Carmella. Over the top goes Mandy. Carmella jumps over the top. Goes for a super kick. 1, 2. Kick out by Mandy. Women's Bikini Fighting Federation. Is that true? No. World Bodybuilding Female Federation. Is that true? World Beauty, Fitness and Fashion. Why is everyone... Are you all just guessing? Everyone is guessing right now what the WBFF stands for. Go for it. Go for it. I think it's the Women and Baby Fighting Federation. It's where women and babies fight. And for some reason, they had a bikini contest one week and Mandy Rose won it. That's what I think. Here we go. Headlock by Mandy Rose. And of course, Sonya Deville comes out. So, Sonya's here. She's chatting away. Sonya's like, this time of year is so nostalgic for our friendship. Because I gave you my money in the bank spot. You live and you learn. So, here we go. Look, Mandy Rose is having to try and battle Carmella whilst trying to ignore Sonya. This is clever from Sonya. Because if she goes down and interferes, then Mandy will win by DQ. I basically handed you the briefcase and you still lost. So Mandy is getting the better here of Carmella. Carmella gets hurled into the corner but comes out with a clothesline. Both women are down. Sonya is still chatting away. She says, I'm going to keep my mouth shut and watch the show. Forearm strikes by Carmella. Face first. Head scissor takedown. Big strike by Mandy. Don't listen. Ah, Carmella. She does get distracted. Super kick. Carmella kicks. Boom. Carmella qualifies. Mandy is out. It's got to be Mandy versus Sonya, hasn't it? I think that's a shame. Where is Tucker in this storyline? Catering. He's in catering. Thankfully, SmackDown is 2 hours, says Wrestling Days fan. Days, can you write J songs on YouTube? What do you mean? Oh, Sonya's running into the ring. Mandy is down. Knee strike by Sonya. You think you're better than me? She's really unloading here. Here we go. Hurling her. Outside the ring and into the ring post. Mandy Rose going face first into the ring post and into the ring steps. She's grabbing her knee. They're going to have to book this match. Here we go. Sonya with a knee to the back of the head of Mandy. She is so happy with herself. There we go. Mandy Rose down. It was like a Kinshasa, wasn't it, by Sonya? Wow, she's so much fun in her TikToks, but she's not as nice in real life. The women's Money in the Bank is going to be predictable, says Jake. Days, it's wrestling best friends forever. It's something that Mandy and Sonya did. WBFF is the World Beauty, Fitness and Fashion. Oh, there we go. Breaking news. I wanted Mandy to win, says Owen. Wasn't to be, my friend. Wasn't to be. I thought she stood a chance because I could see her and Otis like working together if the match is going to be run at the same time. Isn't the rate for SmackDown getting lower? I think the whole of wrestling is suffering at the moment. Shout out to Bong Review. Sonya is crazed. Crazed. Yeah, what's this going to mean for Otis and Dolph? So we've still got Otis and Dolph to come. Who is your celebrity crush? Linda. New Day taking on the Forgotten Sons. That match coming up next. I think Otis is definitely going to beat Ziggler. Yeah, I think they would want Otis in that match. He's been very, very popular. Here we go. Drew McIntyre goes one-on-one with Murphy. So we've got Drew McIntyre and Murphy facing each other. Last chance qualifying gauntlet match. Raw this Monday. Well, look, these are going to be the go-home shows. So, I don't know. I don't know. The go-home shows are normally awful. But this obviously has still got a few final touches that, a few final pieces that are needed. If Otis wins, I'm done, says Tony. I think that the Raw Women's is going to win Money in the Bank. I would imagine Dolph is going to win. Let me know, who do you think's going to win? Tell me, Otis or Dolph. Otis or Dolph. Let's have a look. Let's see what people think in the chat. Yeah, Drew versus Murphy makes a little bit of sense because, of course, it's Drew versus Seth. So it makes sense that he wants to beat up his right-hand man, the Monday Night Messiah's friend. So I can understand that. Murphy wanting to wear down Drew in preparation for Money in the Bank. So I can see a bit of sense. Otis, Dolph, Otis, Dolphin, says Swamp Manor. Otis, Ziggler, Dolph, Otis. Little mixed, but I would say more Otis than there is Dolph. 7-star says Dolph. JD says SmackDown is good so far. Otis, Dolph, Otis. But then that isn't shared by King LeBron, who says this SmackDown is disappointing. Otis. People think Otis is getting this. Yeah, it could go that way. It could be that at Money in the Bank we actually get Mandy versus Sonya as a singles match, and then maybe Otis goes into the Money in the Bank. DJ B Tazzy says, I want Otis, but my gut says Dolph. Sonny Wolf says, my internet is trash. Murphy got hit with the Claymore after the contract signing last Monday. That's true, Adam. That's true. Dave in real life, my good friend, Dave in real life says, I don't know why either should be in the Money in the Bank match, as their storyline is with Sonya and Mandy. There we go. Wrestling Days fan says Otis. So Wrestling Days fan firmly for Dolph Ziggler. Ziggle Wiggle says your boy. Right, here we go. We are going back to the action. We've got how long? 49 minutes. 49 minutes left of this show. Oh, hello. Backstage. Oh, that looks nasty. That does genuinely look moody. She looks like she's got a nasty wound on her thigh. She says she'll be fine. What a trooper. That's what we need right now. Heroes. Otis, very upset. Backstage. Is someone going to take him out backstage? There's Dolph. Dolph asking if Mandy's alright. Ooh, bit of tension. Dolph walking away. Otis. Deep breaths. In all fairness, Otis might just be out of breath from that little walk. I mean, he's just come out of the office, just walked round the corner. He might be out of puff. Time jumps and feel. Imagine if the hacker strikes now. What if the hacker has a message during this match? That'd be amazing. Do love their ring attire that's slowly being coloured in there, wiggling in the direction of Corey. Rich says, when's the next toy hunt? As soon as we can, bud. As soon as we can. We're still in lockdown, so I'd love to get out there, because there was a Pete Dunne that came out, a Pete Dunne figure that hit stores just before we went into lockdown. I really wanted to find it. So there's all these Pete Dunnes just trapped on the shelves. Isn't that quite funny? The first Pete Dunne figure never came out over here in the UK, so you couldn't get it. The second Pete Dunne figure comes out, and then we go into lockdown, so you still can't get it. That Pete Dunne figure is cursed. Cursed, I tell you. Right, here come the Forgotten Children. Highlight of the night from Miller Lite. I don't know if we have Miller Lite here. I don't think we do. What if the hacker splits the Forgotten Sons? Ugh. That'd be dull. DJ B Tazzy says, can't wait for the new Wrestling Escape Pod. Yeah, that'll be in an hour's time, in 1 hour. So we're around for another hour, but 10:15 Eastern, 3:15 a.m. here in the UK. So in an hour, the new Wrestling Escape Pod. And it's fun as well. It's funniest wrestling moments. Big strike. We're just seeing last week where Kofi got power bombed onto Big E. Michael, I don't know who my least favourite wrestler is, bud. I honestly don't know. Let's go with the Forgotten Sons, because I've never seen them do anything good. Days, what if at Money in the Bank there's going to be a mixed tag match between Otis and Mandy and Dolph and Sonya? Yeah, I think Jim said that earlier, and that's fine, but either Otis or Dolph is seemingly going to be in the Money in the Bank match, so one of them is going to be in that match. William Hensey says Forgotten Sons brought back the Forgotten Powerbomb. Here we go. Look, we got Miz in a lovely yellow turtleneck. You do not see enough turtlenecks in wrestling. It's about time we got more turtlenecks in wrestling. It's a campaign that I've been looking to start for a while now, and I might use the Miz as the poster boy for it. So the Miz is here in a lovely yellow mustard turtleneck jumper. He jumps onto commentary along with John Morrison. And we're underway. This is a non-title match between the New Day and the Forgotten Daughters. Days, I love this new Sonya Deville. To be honest, I love Sonya. She could come out in a poop costume and I would love her. Cool. Days, WWE just crushed my hopes of having Mandy and Otis both winning Money in the Bank. Yeah, not happening this year, bud. Not happening this year. There's still a slim chance for Otis. But, I don't know, we'll have to see. Have to see how it all plays out, pans out. I hope the Forgotten Sons get a big push, says Michael. JD says, hey, hey, ho, ho. Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Into the corner. Goes, is it Riker? Basement dropkick by Kofi. Going for a pin. Oh, no, it was Blake. I wanted Mandy and Otis to win. I don't see them doing any wrestling in the building. I see it being a race to the roof. Oh, I disagree, Lenny. I disagree. I think there'll be a lot of wrestling in the building. Well, not wrestling, brawling. Let's put it that way. I can see a lot of walls getting put through. I can see... There's no way they're going to do it at the headquarters and they're not going to show you Vince's office. Plus also, Daniel Bryan has planted the seed tonight of, is it true that Vince has got actual dinosaur bones in his office? I know for a fact he does have a dinosaur, I don't know what you would call it. It's not a painting, it's like plaster. I don't think they're actual bones. I think it's some sort of like art piece. It seems to be like flat panels, but in the shape of like a Tyrannosaurus head. I don't think there's any way Daniel says that and then we don't see Vince's office. I think they're going to fight in Vince's office. I'd love it if Vince was in there at the time. Vince on the phone as people burst in. That'll be fun. The action has spilled to the outside just as we go to commercial break. Dave says, I feel it's more stacked on the Raw side for the women's Money in the Bank. I'm rooting for Shayna to win the briefcase. Black Shade says, the hacker will interrupt, causing the New Day to lose and question their trust. Otis Dolph ends in DQ. Days, is this a match for the tag titles? No. No, it's just a match. Do you think they'll wrestle in Vince's office? I'm not sure they'll wrestle in Vince's office, but I think they'll burst into it. Have you thought about doing new merch? How about a Wrestling Days turtleneck? Oh, could you imagine that? An official Wrestling Days turtleneck jumper just in time for summer. Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it. That's like getting an official Wrestling Days bikini ready for winter. If Otis makes it to the Money in the Bank, can the ladder hold on to Otis? I'm sure they'll have reinforced ladders. Days, the fact that WWE Creative came up with the Headquarters Money in the Bank match and Boneyard match all proves that it's not that they're useless, more like Vince rejects amazing ideas. Yeah, I agree. I think Vince does overrule a lot of stuff and they have to change direction. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that you put a lot of thought and planning into a storyline, and even if just one little thing gets changed, it could have really big knock-on effects for the rest of the story. So even if just one little thing gets changed, then you've got to look at the rest of the story and hope it still makes sense. But, I mean, Vince is probably changing massive things. So stories are just evolving and changing all the time. I don't even know why he even bothers having a creative department. What's the point? If they're going to create stuff and he's going to change it, which then means they've got to change everything they've done. Must be super frustrating. But this is why that news about Vince being a bit more like, F it, screw it, is quite exciting, because if he is going to back away a little bit, get out of the way and let them do things like this, then maybe that's why we're seeing some of this more exciting stuff, you know? Like the fight in the Headquarters, like the Boneyard, everything you just said. So, good point. Chalmers says, Vince should see the damage of the Headquarters and say, this is such bad. Beep. Beep. Days, do you prefer the NXT title designs or the AEW title designs? I think they're close. I think the AEW main title looks much better. I don't know. The women's belt looks a bit small for AEW. Not the biggest fan of their tag belts. Their tag belts look like they're from the 80s. They're all right. I think overall, maybe NXT. Because I love that North American Championship. And I think the rest of their belts look fine. But I think the best belt out of all of them is the AEW World Championship. I love that belt. Big E with a quick pin. So we're still underway. We've got, 38 minutes left. That's it. 38 minutes to go of this SmackDown. Days, the Mandy stuff at Mania was apparently unscripted. They was trusted to just do their thing. Okay, that's great. More of that. More of that. Ozzy says, Days, why are these shows so continuously poor? It's a chore at this point. They put no effort into real story progression. It's frightening, the difference between this and the quality that AEW produces. Well, I yes and no. I kind of think that I agree that a lot of these shows are not great. But I do think that they're doing a lot of stuff that wasn't planned right now. I think you're getting a lot of stuff during this phase that they're just having to go with a lot of stuff, you know? I mean, on a weekly basis, they never know if they can tape, if they can be live, when a crowd's going to come back. You know, I mean, look at that. A crowd back next week. What? You know, the second that Vince can have a crowd, he'll do it. So, again, you know, there's so much going on. I think AEW has kind of leaned a lot on video packages. We've been getting things like the Bubbly Bunch, you know, and things like that. WWE just hasn't really been giving us that kind of stuff. They've been trying to give us matches. But it's just hard to really care about any stories. I would say they've done all right with the Mandy, Otis, Sonya one, in all fairness. But I just don't care about the Forgotten Sons. So, and I don't really care about Miz and Morrison. Big E had Blake on his back, and he backs him into the corner. Shoulder charges by Blake, kicks to the midsection. Here we go. Big over, but gets spiked. Planted down by Big E, so Blake is down. What is the main event tonight? Wow, at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Otis and Dolph, doesn't it? That's the only other thing that I know that was advertised that we've not had so far. Kingston in there, exploding. He is fired up. Boom drop. Here we go. Kofi in the corner, clapping away. Look at what WWE was in the 90s. Look at what we're watching now. It's pathetic. Vince is useless. Again, I do think it is difficult to compare the 90s to what we're going through right now, because what we're going through right now is such an extraordinary time. I would be more inclined to compare the 90s to when we actually get back to full crowds and see what the stories are then, and see, you know, what stories they're doing then. I think to compare this to anything, this is so unusual. We've never gone through this before, you know. So I would be reluctant to do that. I'm not saying this is brilliant stuff and defending the shows. I'm just saying I agree with what people in the chat were saying. It's nice to have a show. Nice stomp by Kingston. Cutler down. Cutler gets his shoulder up. Days, I found the picture of the dinosaur in his office. Yes, it's definitely there. Here we go. Kofi going over. Back elbow by Cutler. Blake tagging himself in. Going up top. Backstabber by Cutler. Blake up top with the elbow drop. Kofi was still draped across the knees. 2. No. I thought he'd got it then. I thought he'd got the 3. Black Shade says Bray should win the title off Braun and dismantle his face. Braun could be a puppet in the funhouse and accompany Bray to the ring in a scary mask. Aiden says, did you see the main event? I personally like it. Do you mean the film? I've not had a chance to watch it yet, no. Cameron says, a bikini with a Linda picture. Oh, do you think there are, like, just... Oh, could you imagine if there's pictures of Vince and Linda, like, in loving embraces all in his office? They could do some really fun stuff, couldn't they? What about, like, a solid gold statue of Vince? Do you know what I mean? Like, a solid gold statue of Vince standing like this in his office or something. That'd be hilarious. Rusty said, Rusty, what you doing, dude? Rusty says, for no reason whatsoever. Thank you for the support, Rusty. You know that I appreciate it, but you know that you don't have to do it. And you know that I keep saying that every time you do it. And everyone knows that no one tells Rusty what to do. Appreciate the support, bud. If we run out of data, then everyone will know that it's you and... well, actually, who let me shout out everyone that's got the thank yous at the bottom. So, Thank you to William Hensey. Thank you to Jody Gilly. Thank you to Christy Zuba. And thank you to Rusty Shackelford. Forgotten Sons just managed to get the win on the New Day. You deserve it. That's quite good. A good "you deserve it" chant by Miz and Morrison on commentary. That's pretty fun. I'm into that. You deserve it. You deserve it. There we go. Cutler and Reiter and Blake with the victory. Days, could WWE fire Nia Jax? I don't think so. William Hensey, shout out to you, dude. So, commercial break. We've got half an hour to go. Yeah, we've still got that Otis match. That's sure to be our main event tonight. No idea what else is coming up. I don't think this has been a brilliant SmackDown. I think it's been average at best. At best. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I suppose in a way I'm a bit disappointed with the Funhouse. I was really hoping that we was going to get something more than that. But of course, we might get more Bray. It might not be the only time that we do see Bray tonight. We've not had the Hacker, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Really thought that it would be this week. But of course, the Hacker could, make their presence felt still. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, we get some kind of big talking point in this final half an hour. Because there hasn't really been a great deal so far. Mike Chioda got fired. Sadly, JD, yes. Shout out to WWE Pro 208. Days, what's going on with Nia? Nothing. She's in Money in the Bank, Justin. Alexa and Nikki are up next. Okay. Days, the only thing I don't like about it is they released a lot of talent because of money situations, but then doing this match will cost money to fix everything they break. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, but I mean, they're saving like $4 million a month, and they're probably saving money by not spending it on arenas at the moment. Dave Meltzer said something really interesting. Apparently, they lose money doing house shows. Apparently, house shows don't turn a profit for them, but it's just good. They make money from merch and things like that. So he was saying that them not doing house shows is actually saving them money as well. So, yeah, kind of crazy to think that they're actually making more money right now. I mean, obviously, they're going to suffer by not being able to do the pay-per-views. But their big income comes from the TV deals, which is why they absolutely couldn't afford to sacrifice those. Days, what's going on? Oh, I read that. Let's go down. Days, wouldn't it be amazing if someone reaches the rooftop and gets shocked seeing no briefcase, and then it's revealed the case is kept hidden somewhere else and someone on a lower floor wins it? I wouldn't like that, to be honest. I think it's always been about climbing a ladder and getting to the top. If you get to the top of the building and then get to the top of a ladder and there's no case or anything, then I think it'd kind of go against what Money in the Bank's all about. Shout out to Wrestling Boy Jr. Where is the great Asuka? They tend to keep her on Raw now that she's not a tag champ. So, unfortunately, you don't tend to see her on both shows anymore. Have you got your Boneyard dirt yet? Not yet. I have ordered it. So, in case you haven't heard, WWE have come out with a plaque that contains actual dirt from the Boneyard match. I 100% am fully aware they probably just went outside the Performance Center and just scraped the ground. But as I said before, I don't care. because it's official WWE. It's an official plaque. It's officially numbered, and they're officially saying that it was from the Boneyard match. So, as a little collector's piece, I think it's quite fun and quirky. So I ordered it. I went for it. But I don't think it's out until May. I think it was like a pre-order thing. So no, but as soon as I get it, don't make no mistake about it. Don't worry, you will see it. I love nothing more than showing off my dirt collection on these streams. We're just looking at last week when we had Sasha versus Lacey. Cameron says, Dave's thoughts on Otis and Mandy storyline. I think it's been good. I think considering they've had to tell it in front of no fans and no crowd, I think it's been one of the more successful stories they've been telling recently. So, yeah, I like it. I think we've still got further to go with it. I don't think that Otis and Mandy are going to stay together for a long time. I just got that feeling. And I think the story's kind of moving on now to Sonya and Mandy and their split and their feud. So I'm really not sure who's going to win this main event tonight. We'll have to see. I'd be amazed if Otis isn't in Money in the Bank, to be honest, but let's see. Let's see how it all plays out. But I think it's been fun. I think it's been good. Obviously, we got Tamina versus Bayley at Money in the Bank as well. And Kayla Braxton just having a word with Tamina right now. Tamina says she's up for the challenge. Here's Sasha. Sasha looks taller than I expected. Has she got heels on or something? Sasha says, you helped me more than you can ever have imagined. Andrew Park says, for the last half an hour and for being the man. Shout out to you, Andrew. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Ooh, Bayley from behind. It was a trap. It was a trap. I'm looking to see if Sasha's wearing heels because I really feel like she's tall. She is wearing heels. She's got boots on. I thought she looked tall. So she's got a slight heel on. Well, it's just a melee now. We got Lacey, we got Sasha, we got Bayley, we got Tamina. There's a bald guy. Love it. Look at this, there's two refs. Let her go! Let her go! There's lots of shouting and pointing and... Tag match. Next week, maybe? There's Dolph. We got Dolph backstage. There's Sonya. Sonya says, I hurt Mandy. I really hurt Mandy. You need to do the same to Otis. I can't wait for Money in the Bank. Yeah, it's going to be good. That was chaos, yes. John, I have not. No, I have never seen a single Logan Paul podcast. They cheer on Otis because they can see themselves in Otis. And they think they're witnessing greatness. You and I both know guys like that don't ever really win. Apart from the occasional participation award. Sonya seems to be very into what Dolph's saying. I can't tell if she's into what he's saying or if she's into him. do you know what? This is a decent main event, in all fairness. It's got a good backstory to it. Some good little promos tonight. It's a rematch of a WrestleMania match, but at least we've had a little bit of time between them, you know? I'm going to be champion. You're probably not, though, are you, mate? You're probably not. I'm not even sure he believes it. Who is your favourite AEW wrestler? I like Kenny. Yeah, look, she's really into it. Sonia says, sounds like a plan to me. Right, wow, here we go. What, 21 minutes left? Yeah! Tuck it! Won the national title in the 2011 Junior Pan American Games. I can't imagine Otis ever as a junior. I think he came out of his mother's womb looking like this. Yep. Tuck it! Right. Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Who will qualify? This Monday, Drew McIntyre. He should have kissed her and said, I have long hair like a girl. Yes. He should have kissed her, and he should have kissed her really passionately. Should have been really long and awkward and cringe. Yeah? And then he should have just looked her in the eyes and said, I can be your woman now. That would have been amazing. That would have been so beautiful. I can be your woman now. Oh, love it. So that way, she could still be, like, lesbian. And Dolph can fully transform into a woman. He's had the long blonde hair for a long, long time. So, yeah, it'd be so powerful. Dolphina Ziggler. That's what we could have got. Dolphina. Daphne Ziggler. Daphne Ziggler. But they didn't. Do you know why? Because they're not brave enough. Yeah, they're not brave enough. They got to take some risks. I tell you. They got to start taking risks. Well, let's see. Well, that's definitely not going to happen. I don't know why I said let's see. Because that's not happening. But let's see who is going to qualify. Otis or Daphne. Isn't she bi? I don't know. What do you think I am? Do you think I'm some kind of like Sonia Deville Wikipedia? Days, do you watch any UK YouTubers? I do not get chance to watch YouTubers. LeBron fan 23 says Otis main event SmackDown doesn't make sense at all. I don't know. It's a Money in the Bank qualifier. So, I can't say I've got a problem with it. And there's been a good feud and a good story told. So, I don't know. It's not a bad main event. We've had worse. We've definitely had worse. Elijah says, let's go Otis. Kevin says Otis. Cooper says dazed. 10 gallons of Otis. Days, how can WWE not give any glimpses of the hacker when it is red hot right now? Well, I was expecting it. I sat here earlier and said I think there's a really good chance because, as we said, last week the coordinates said truth or consequences. This week it said last chance. When you put the coordinates in of the hacker's profile, it said last chance, and that was on Tuesday. So, I don't know. Are we at last chance now? Where are we? Very last chance. That's where we are. I'm not joking. That's where we are. I'm being serious. This is your last chance. So, yeah, I thought we would see the hacker tonight, but I don't know, maybe next week. Or maybe we Money in the Bank. Spam Otis. Come on, Otis. Did we get a Funhouse? Sort of. It was a bit flat. Next week, Gulak, Daniel, and question mark versus King Corbin, Nakamura, and Cesaro. Also next week, Lacey Evans and Tamina versus Bayley and Sasha. Stupid. Why would you have a match literally 2 days before a championship match? Also next week, face to face, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. I love those little fireflies that are buzzing around Bray. They're fun. Right, we're going back. We got 16 minutes. 16 minutes left of SmackDown. Don't forget as well, as soon as we're done with SmackDown, we will be going over to the Wrestling Escape Pod YouTube channel. The brand new episode drops at past, and it is all about funniest WWE moments. Dave in real life says the hacker is waiting for next week and Jeff Hardy's return. Days, what if Corey Graves wins the gauntlet match? I heard a while ago that he wants to wrestle again, says Waleed. Yeah, and there is actually footage on Twitter of him wrestling, but I would think it would be too soon. I think he's still just at the early stages of it. I don't think he is really at the point where he's ready to return. Right, Otis versus Dolph. Dolph has come down. Otis has got his little top on. And already charges Dolph straight out of the ring. Dolph down on the outside. Otis has never been part of a ladder match. What's he got written on the back of his trunks? What's it say? It's got blue collar strong on the front, but then does it say, is it got like a hazard, big load kind of a sign? I've never noticed that before. Standing, delayed, vertical suplex. He's got Dolph up, drops him down. Lovely work. I tell you, Otis is the real deal, you know. I'm sure he's got an amateur wrestling background. Certainly lifts a lot of weight. Yeah, amateur background. There we go. Big strike by Dolph to the head. Otis getting driven back, but face first. No, he blocks it. And he hurls Dolph face first. Days, who will win, Bayley or Tamina? Bayley. My internet has officially made me lose my marbles. You haven't missed a great deal. We're at the main event. Otis versus Dolph. Otis going for the pin after a power slam. Do you think Bayley is a good heel because she put Sasha under the bus? Plus, she is running away from the SmackDown Women's Championship. Yes, I do. I actually think Bayley is really growing into the role. Wasn't sure about it at first, but I think the more that she gets involved in these kind of stories, and, you know, those slight little things, as you said, about how she's made Sasha fight Tamina first. You know, just the little teases, the little problems between her and Sasha. I think it is all helping. And I think the end result will be Bayley versus Sasha. Maybe we get that at SummerSlam when the crowds are back, which is going to be awesome. And the build for it has been great. So, yeah, I think we're on a very good path with Bayley and Sasha. Otis has got Dolph in the ring. Just a 2 count. Dolph getting his shoulder up. Liam says, I'm Sonia's Wikipedia. Sonia is 26, lives in Orlando. Her real name is Daria Berinato. She is 5'7", trained by Lita, Billy Gunn, and Booker T. Well, there we go. You really are. You really are. Sonia's Wikipedia. Into the barricade goes Otis. Do you like Fiend or Kane more? I would say Kane at the moment. But Fiend's only just started. He's only been in for a year. Right, we go to commercial break with 10 minutes left to go. The Miz stated indirectly that Ronda Rousey's comments on fake wrestling is a work. Okay. Doink is the hacker, says Michael. Ryan says, what if Otis came out and brought a bag full of caterpillars and then started to do the caterpillar? Well, that would be crazy. Days, my hacker prediction is Punk, Alberto, and Mr. Lars, says Hope. Days, are you a fan of Miz and Morrison? I am a big fan. I can't say I am, to be honest. I didn't mind him the first time round. This isn't really how I would have brought Morrison back. I suppose it's given them both something to do. Dirt Sheet is okay. I don't know. It's not really landed with me. But if you're enjoying it, then that's all good. Coaster Maniacs. Coaster Maniacs says, you didn't think I was going to let this stream end without making my presence known. Lol. Just finished setting up stuff for tomorrow. Much love. See you guys soon. I feel like I might as well just leave a lot of these names scrolling along the bottom because they're so supportive on a regular basis. Absolutely blows my mind. For those of you that haven't heard, I am on the Coaster Maniacs channel tomorrow. And it's live. It's live at 2 Eastern, 7 p.m. here in the UK. And I don't know what we're talking about. I haven't got a clue. I'm literally going to be there and I'm just going to be asked questions and I'm just going to answer and whatever. It could be carnage. So I don't know what to expect. And that's tomorrow. Apparently, Coaster Maniacs has got a lot of topics that he wants to cover. And they're topics that have been provided by you guys. So, there we go. It should be very, very interesting tomorrow on Coaster Maniacs channel. So, obviously, we'll send out links and everything like that if you are around. But yeah, shout out to Coaster Maniacs. Should be very interesting tomorrow. Very, very interesting. Days, imagine in the end, Vince drops the ball again and Robert Roode returns as a face, gets revealed as a hacker, and then starts a feud with Dolph. That would be horrific. Tony says, why is there a barricade with no crowd? LOL. Right, we're back. We've got 8 minutes left. That's all. Face first goes Otis. I wonder if Sonya will make her presence felt. I wonder if Tucker will make his presence felt. Otis face first into the corner. Big strikes coming in by Dolph. Beautiful standing drop kick and Otis goes down. You can see he's a little bit out of breath now. Otis is being made to work quite hard here. Otis slumps down. American adverts are depressing. Chalmers, no, there'll be one on the Wrestling Escape Pod as well. That's where, on the Wrestling Escape Pod, it'll be a Saturday night faff around. A Saturday night faff around on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. Oh, man. I'm just showing a replay of that drop kick. It was right on the kisser. And Dolph has got a headlock on Otis. Otis down onto his hands and knees. So Dolph Ziggler in a very commanding position. Do you want Tucker to turn on Otis? Might be a bit soon. I could see them having a match down the road, but to be honest, I think Tucker might struggle on his own. Jaden says, have I missed a glitch? No, I've not seen anything. Do you like Undertaker or Sting better? Undertaker. But I do love Sting. Down goes Dolph. So Otis a little bit dazed. Kick to the midsection by Dolph. 6 minutes to go. Otis starting to get into this. The back of Otis's trunks say oversized load. Oh, big clothesline. That had some real snap on it. Another clothesline and Dolph goes down. Dolph taking a few bumps here. Backed into the corner. Otis charging over, but a back elbow by Dolph. Here we go. Otis driving Dolph into the corner. Dolph goes down. I thought he was going to do the caterpillar then. He kind of took a brief... yeah, here he is. There we go. Caterpillar. But Dolph just rolls out of the ring. And Otis grabs his hair. Kind of dragging him. Oh. Net breaker. Days, who will win, Lana or Becky? I didn't even know they was having a match. To the eyes. DJ B Tazzy says Days Extreme Rules is supposed to be in San Jose in July. That is Bayley's hometown. Maybe Bayley versus Sasha at Extreme Rules. Maybe. Will they want Bayley being cheered, though? That's the only problem. San Jose are going to be cheering Bayley. I think they'll just be happy for an atmosphere, wouldn't they, in all fairness? 4 minutes. Right, both guys on their feet in each corner. Dolph looking for a super kick. He's got one queued up. Ready to go. Otis turns round. Catches Dolph. Fall away slam. Dolph is down. Which way is this going to go? Caterpillar time. Otis. Oh, elbow drop with the pin. 2, 3, and it's Otis that is in Money in the Bank. Otis in the bank. American dream. He's just a common man, working hard with his hands, 'cause he's an American dream. Otis, Otis. There we go. Otis gets the win on Dolph Ziggler Wiggle. Look at that sexy beast of a man. Ooh. It's all about the Money in the Bank. Here come the money. Ray, Alistair, Daniel, Corbin, Otis. No one knows the final person. Otis has won the right to be one of 6 men who will compete. There's one spot left. One spot left. William Hensey says Otis won. He did. He did it. He won the match. Oh, wow. I didn't mind that main event, to be honest. I did not mind that main event at all. It's finished a couple of minutes early, but get your thoughts in. Days, could Otis be world champ? I don't think he's going to get Money in the Bank. I think they might be a bit soon for that. Dolph is fired. Days, I literally did the cowbell claps for the American Dream thing. Amazing. Justin Anderson says 6.5. Famous KJ says 7.8. Sandman 882 says 9.75. LeBron fan 23 says 6. Nicholas says 4.5. Jerry says 7. Christy Zuba says 7. Anthony JCP says, I'm very upset no hacker. Yeah. I'm very, very surprised. Very surprised. I really thought there would be one this week. Maybe Dave's right. Maybe he's waiting for Jeff. Will Hardy come back as Willow? I don't think so. I don't know that that's a character that he owns. Where is the hacker? Self-isolating. SmackDown 7.6. 7.8 says KJ Carter. 8.57. How is this SmackDown a 10? Asks Chalmers. Monica gives it 6.25. Chalmers says 6. LeBron says 6. Rude Boy says 2. The most exciting half hour of wrestling is coming up. Dean Winchester says 109.5 out of 10. 10 out of 10 says Sonny Wolf. 6 out of 10. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for joining us, buddy. 1 out of 10, 6.5. 8.25, 6, 5, 10. No Jeff Hardy and no Fiend. I remember that storyline where Raw went on strike. Those were the days. Damien says, great stream. See you on Monday. Shout out to you, buddy. Days, do you think that Edge will be the final competitor? I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Callian says, I give it 7.5. 1 out of 10. I think it was boring. I think this was average at best. I don't think there was really anything spectacular in there. I don't think there was things that were disastrous. Average for me is 6.5. I'm going to say 6.25. And that is me being generous. If you thought it was above that, brilliant. If you thought it was below that, I suppose I can see why. I can see how I can see. I think this. Do you know what? I think this was a very, very interesting show. The reason why I say that is because I can see why people would interpret it in different ways. There wasn't really anything there that was that special. So there's nothing that people are going to get that excited about. Some of the wrestling, some of the matches were just things that happened, you know. So, yeah, some of the matches had stipulations and whatever. But, man, if you never saw that show, you really didn't miss much. So I can totally see why people would be like 1, 2, 3. But, equally, I don't think there was anything that was disastrous. There was some good wrestling. I thought that the main event was built nicely. I like the Sonya Mandy thing. I think that's good. Daniel against King Corbin at the start had a reason because of last week and everything that happened. So equally, I can see why people are like 7, 7.5. I can see that as well. So it's quite an interesting show. I don't think a great show. As I said, average at best for me. Unbroken 1010 says, Jesse Ventura, I submitted his name to the Independent Party for a possible president run. He could get enough swing votes. That would be crazy. Yeah, I don't really understand. I know that he's thinking about running. As the Green nomination. But I don't really get... Obviously, I'm not American. So I don't really get how your politics work over there. So, yeah, we'll have to see if he does become the Green nomination or not. We'll have to see how that plays out. Right, in regards to next week, we've got obviously a big Raw coming up. It's the Go Home show, and we've got one final spot. So we don't actually know who's going to be in that final spot. I fear that it's going to be Last Chance Saloon. I fear that it's going to be a case that it's everyone that lost that's going to be thrown into a final chance gauntlet match. I really would love for there to be a surprise in that. I really would love for there to be Edge or Kevin Owens. We haven't seen Kevin Owens in forever. So it would be cool if, like, the first people come out and then there's one more person and then it's Edge or it's Kevin Owens or it's someone like that. That will be a good moment. That would be a really fun Raw moment if they do that. But I don't know if they will or if they won't. We know that we've got Murphy against Drew as well. There'll be a few other little finishing touches. I don't think the ratings for Raw are going to be that great, to be honest. I think they really could do with announcing something big to get people excited. And I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they've got anything big that they can announce. So, yeah, I really do want to see wrestling get out of this slump that it's in at the moment. I think that's a real shame that it kind of finds itself in this situation. Granted, a lot of the booking that they've done in recent times has been their own fault. But I do think this has really caught people's imagination, the whole Money in the Bank thing. So I kind of feel like right now there should be excitement. But it's just, there's so much going on in the world. And obviously no crowds really hurts. But I am genuinely excited for Money in the Bank. I'm genuinely excited. I even think the undercard looks good. I think you know, Drew against Seth is a good match. That's a good match for both of them. I think Braun versus Bray has got great backstory. I think that's a good match as well. Bayley Tamina, not too bothered by it, but it'd be nice to see Bayley defending the title in a one-on-one match, and they've really tried to build Tamina up. So, yeah, I think it's got a decent undercard. It's all about that main match, though, isn't it? Plus, also, those undercard matches, are they going to have to wrestle on the roof? Are they wrestling on the roof, or are they wrestling in the Performance Center, and then we go to the headquarters just for the Money in the Bank match? I don't know. I've got some questions. Some questions on that. J14 says, I could see Jinder entering the Money in the Bank match. Days, considering the stories they could tell, that was a weak Firefly Funhouse. I agree. They keep saying that they're Firefly Funhouses, but they're promos. They're just promos. And it's just done in that backstage area. So, yeah, there's not really anything to really speculate about. I mean, people are getting excited because the John Cena picture didn't have his eyes crossed out. You know, that's the level of excitement we're at now. I kind of feel like it does need to be a bit more than that. What if the Great Khali... I didn't see the rest of that. Came back and he's the final person. Well, there's a travel ban, so that might be difficult. Sunny Wolf says 9 minutes till the escape pod. Yeah, I will put a little links. Of course, we are going to jump over there. So I have dropped a link in the chat if anyone wants to head over there. You're not going to miss a great deal. We've got, in fact, even less than 9 minutes. We've got 8 minutes. I do like to try and run it quite close, though. And then we can always just click on the link and head over there. But yeah, this is a good episode as well. This is all about funny wrestling moments. So there's tons that we talk about. Loads of images. It took me like ages just to edit this video. The amount of pictures that I had to drop into it. So there's loads of funny moments that we talk about. Loads of images that are in there as well. And yeah, I think it's a good episode. I genuinely do. So if you've not seen the Wrestling Escape Pod, it's literally an hour designed to literally just escape from the world. You can listen to it at any time. You don't have to watch it live. You can check it out tomorrow, next week, next year. It's literally just an hour on a different wrestling topic each week. Last week, we spoke about disappointing results. This week, we're talking about the funniest moments. And I can tell you next week is about the best theme tunes. the best entrance music. So really looking forward to that. In fact, we've recorded it, and I can tell you it's a fun one as well. In fact, if I'm being honest, I think next week's is better than this week's. But you should still definitely check out this week's. Days, it will be people who lost. If it was people that lost, then what happens to Murphy, his facing Drew? Hasib, that is an excellent, excellent point. If it was the people that lost getting a second chance, then why Drew? What happened to Murphy? Because Murphy lost. That's a very good point, and he won't be in that match. 6 minutes till Wrestling Escape Pod. Wrestling Days fan says, I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you. Don't forget as well, tomorrow I am on Coaster Maniacs channel. Coaster Maniacs channel at 2 o'clock Eastern, which is 7 o'clock here in the UK. So I will be over there as well. Dexter Loomis is going to win the ladder match, says Ethan. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Just to have someone completely out the blue. That would be cool. Shout out to Carmen Live 2. Shout out you and Hammond, Indiana. Days the Hacker likes to expose on go home shows. Well, I can't agree with the Hacker exposing himself. What did the wrestler order at the bar? Champagne. Oh, look at this. Jim Gore getting in with the jokes. Dexter Loomis living the ladder match. I don't think he will. It would be cool if he was in it. I do like Dexter Loomis down in NXT. I do think he's a lot of fun. Edge is the person I would really love. I would really love Edge to win it. I really would. Days, I'm going to get some art canvases and oil paints. So I'll drop some art bombs. Amazing. Amazing. I think the New Day in the Forgotten Sons match was match of the night, says the Dukes. I don't know. I can't say there was any match that really excited me. I think there was some good wrestling and some good moments, but I don't think there's any matches that I'm going to be revisiting from tonight. So hard to pick one. I suppose I enjoyed the Otis Dolph because I didn't know which way it was going to go, and it actually meant something, whereas New Day and Forgotten Sons didn't really mean anything. I always feel like that hurts matches when they're inconsequential. I like how we all love Dexter, says yeah boy. Ozzy says, imagine Jinder wins Money in the Bank and then cashes in on Drew. Nightmare. I think that the mask we saw is for Braun. What mask? The Black Sheep mask. He used to wear that. Was there another mask that I missed? The opening match was the best, says Matt. I want R-Truth shenanigans. We don't see R-Truth, do we? R-Truth living that self-isolating life. Loomis is awesome, says Robin813. I agree. In 5 years, we're going to look back and say, damn, look at what we made it through. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. I really don't think you can compare this time to... I mean, what they're doing right now is just literally putting content out. They're trying to tell some stories. They're trying a few different things like the Boneyard and what we're getting with Money in the Bank. But there's no way you can compare this to the Attitude Era or any kind of other time, because it's such a unique time. There will be so many documentaries and things done about what we're going through right now. Just this period. It'll be like, do you remember that time when the coronavirus was around and they didn't have a crowd? No. Oh, yeah, you've got to go back on the network. Check out 2020 Raw SmackDown. There's no crowd. They had to do it at the Performance Center. I can see that being a conversation in like 10, 15 years' time, you know. Right, 2 minutes till we've got the Wrestling Escape Pod. Do you have the Jax UFC figures? No, but I was very tempted by them. And actually, I think it's Jazzwares are coming back with some new ones. There's some new UFC action figures on the way. They showed earlier this year a Conor McGregor one. LeBron fan 23, shout out to you, buddy. Days, have you been to York Hall? I haven't. It is on my to-do list because it is such an iconic venue. So, yes, I would like to go there and see some shows. Because, of course, like Rev Pro and lots of shows air at, like, York Hall. And definitely somewhere that, being in England, I should go. I'd really like to go to a Pro Wrestling Eve show as well. That intrigues me. They have some great action, some great wrestling, and great talent. Yeah, there's a few that I'd like to go to. I've never been to a Progress show. I mean, me and indie wrestling doesn't happen. I have to spend all my time watching WWE. So yeah, me and indie wrestling, we should be better friends than we are. But I did get a chance to go to like a Fight Club Pro in show, a couple of shows actually in Wolverhampton. They were great. I will definitely go to some more Fight Club Pro shows. Right, my friends, I've got to go because I have to get over to the Wrestling Escape Pod. Link in the chat right now. Be great to see you guys over there. And obviously the conversation can continue. Tommy should be over there as well. So time to end this stream. Thank you all so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And you know that I do. Otherwise, I'd be sat here on my own, just talking to myself. And, well, I did that for many years. So it's brilliant that I can sit and chat with you guys. So thank you all so much for the support. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope that Smackdown was at least passable for you. And I'll see you over at the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.